Good morning out there. Hope you guys can hear me. Let me check to see if you guys can hear me yet. Looks like everything's coming in. Turn this up here. Gotta get this stuff all up and going. All right, let's just get right into it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. End of quarter, June 30th. One more day until the 4th of July weekend. We're going to switch it right over to the live stream here so you guys can see what's going on. I haven't checked I haven't looked at the chat, but good morning to all of you out there right now. So we're going to take a look. We're going to take a quick look. So this morning's numbers weren't that bad. I mean, they weren't overall bad, but of course, we have other things to be looking at. We'll take a look at that stuff today as well. We talked yesterday. Well, let's go through a few things here. So we talked yesterday about, or in the morning, I think morning of the day before, I posted about back here. Let's look back here. This drop that we had on Tuesday here, and how unnatural this drop was, right? Based upon no news. We have the same thing happening again this morning. On at Captain's Alpha, I made a post on last Sunday about where we should be headed. Well, that this rally will fail, which of course it did, right? We had a failure of that rally. And then also yesterday morning, I think it was yesterday morning, I'm not sure when I posted it. Maybe it was on Tuesday. But at least on Monday end of day, I said we should see 372. I thought we'd see it yesterday, and we hadn't. And then yesterday I talked about how whenever we have these failures, watch my cursor over here. I made a long post where I showed on the charts going back to January that once we have this drop here, that we continue to drop thereafter. It's just a matter of time. So that's on at Captain's Alpha. You can check out these posts. It's the last two posts that I've made on at Captain's Alpha. I made one last Sunday and then one again this week. And how this is not really truly news-driven. And not only that, but this morning is not truly news-driven either, believe it or not. This is not news-driven. This is a bear market rally that we had back here. You can see the failure post, of course. And where do we go from here? Now, yesterday, I did buy, at the end of yesterday, I bought some 2 dates for Friday, January 1st, 390s I'm holding. And I've got a bunch of calls for July, but for dated farther away, like the 15th and stuff like that. But even so, with those calls, they're dirt cheap, 60 cents or something. I have not sold those, if you're asking. But even so, with that, we talked about how it's just a matter of time that we continue to go down here. Now, there's a couple key things I want you to be looking at today. First is this previous low. We discussed this previous low yesterday. We'll take a look back and see where it is. And it was right in here on the 23rd, so we can actually see if we can get that. And this is your first one right here, right? You can see that we're now touching this previous low. We've got another one down below here at 368, 365. We'll look at Bookmap and show you where the levels are down here. The levels today are kind of fucked up. There's a lot of just a volatility zone. This whole area down here is going to be a grind to get through. Where it was like cutting through butter here. There's a lot of stuff to get through. It's why this is so messy today. Now, we also have this previous low back here to test at 362.30. We know the JPM collar is down there as well. And believe it or not, even below that is the 200-weekly moving average that we've been harping on as well, right? That we have a date with it eventually. It'll eventually come. So there's a lot going on here. The other thing to expect, let's get back to this channel we talked about yesterday. Even within this channel, we said, hey, we can easily sell off down here this morning. And, of course, we did in the overnight. And we continued to off the bell. Now, yesterday, we were looking at, we're going to look today even more closely today as it's into quarter because some pretty big bets are already coming in at the start of today. Some of this involves Tesla heading into the next quarter. But specifically in here yesterday, when we talked about if we can come down here today, this morning, that it was entirely possible to just continue trading down inside of this channel. And that's exactly what we did. And furthermore, the selling that's continuing now, actually it is planned to an extent. You do so. We've already talked ad nauseum about that 200 at WMA. You want to see that, and we're gonna talk about once more this morning because I've been harping on this for a couple weeks now, and I don't think people get the point that when you're down here historically, you want that check and that test. That ultimately you want to see that check down there, especially, and it's a process that takes months. So sometimes it doesn't take months if you
According
break
to
through
Fitch
it.
Ratings, global sovereign sector outlook revised downwards to neutral.
But you want to see that check in either a break of it, a check, bounce off, a second check, and maybe even a third check. We've seen in previous decades where we've seen previous checks down below.
This stream is sponsored by To The Tick. Get free daily pivot points, Fibonacci, and market profile levels by signing up at tothetick.com.
I gotta pause this. Okay, so when we have a date with this, it's important that we get this date with the weekly moving average. It confirms. If you just had 6 months of relentless selling, right? You want to know how bad the market is. You want to know if we break below the 200-week moving average. If you can look forward to another 3 to 6 months, or even possibly longer, of severe selling in the market. So you want to see that we are heading lower. There is another aspect to this
For those
market.
who'd like to read through the Fitch Ratings piece on global sovereign sector,
turn this shit
outlook
off here.
revised downward to neutral.
Okay, so the other thing that you want to be considering as we're down here is what came in yesterday. Yesterday, while we were trading, we noted 2 huge trades that were coming in yesterday. One was Apple puts with aggressiveness, right? It broken up, trying to be hidden. We saw lots of Apple puts coming in for July 15th, and it culminated at around $2 or $3 million. Now, it was hidden as it came in, but of course we saw it. As that trade came in yesterday, and then we saw the gold trade down to 165p, and we were discussing yesterday, you know, if you see a hedge or millions of dollars in puts or calls that are a month out, 3 months out, something like that, that's a lot. It's a lot different. These are all at the buy. These aren't sells. All this flow is at the buy. So when you see this stuff come into the market at such short day with such aggressiveness, it's pre-planned. It has nothing to do with what the numbers are going to be today. Nothing. And you can see that in the numbers that came out today. The selling in this market, especially after that rollover, they can say whatever they want. And the funny part is this morning I was putting in some security lights, some exterior security lights in my house, and I had turned on CNBC. I don't watch it too often anymore, but it was just pure fucking cancer because they always need a reason for why the market goes down. And so they always have to use an economic calendar and stuff like that to show that stuff. When we know that yesterday that large banks were already planning on this drop-off today. We saw it in gold yesterday. We actually looked at the gold chart when it came in. We highlighted and noted the Apple puts that came in that were as aggressive as well. And there was no need or reason or anything that came out yesterday that said, hey, you should be placing these trades right now. And that's because we're heading down into this lower trading range at the end of quarter for repositioning. Now, the other thing to comment upon is the JPM collar trade that's out there. I believe it's down at 362.50. I could be wrong on that. It might not be exact. There's a couple other numbers out there. But we're actually also trading down into that zone once again. And that implies that they're long those puts into end of quarter. And that's part of the wag the dog aspect to this market. And I reposted this morning early on Twitter an article that came out on the NASDAQ.com or .org site a while. I think this was sometime last September or October. But they actually went back into that article. The key part of that article was they went back into that article and edited it to reflect that a lot of flack was given about that JPM collar because it is a wag the dog type scenario where regardless of where you think the market is going, that the market to an extent is pre-planned on where it's going. And it's offhandedly said, well, if you place a $1 billion bet it should go where you want it to go. And that's just not what it theoretically not what the market's supposed to do. But of course, that is what happens in this market, is that the dog is wagged by these large banks. Now, the key point of posting that early this morning too was that I figured that the numbers would be somewhat better this morning, and they weren't bad. And we still sold off after the bell this morning. And the implication is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. They'll spin them any way that they want to put the price. Now, if there was this huge, follow my cursor, if you see this huge reaction today, it's really blasted off today, it still would have came back down to print that collar. And that's often the case. A couple of years ago, it was a TikTok. I was trading and I had CNBC on, shockingly, in the background, and a reporter was speaking to one of the hosts and let it slip that there could be a TikTok Google deal. And at that time, they all knew, CNBC all knew about this, and the host said, "Oh, we haven't released that information yet," or something, and they kind of choked on it as it happened. And I brought up Google real quick, and Google stock shot to the fucking moon. The crazy part was that it came right back down again. So anytime you've got large banks that are positioned a certain way, and even if there is a shock to the market, any direction, whether it's up or down from where they're positioned, you're always going to see it come back, revert back to where they want that move to be. And you're seeing that this morning. Fascinating, because I posted that before the numbers came out this morning, because I knew that even if those numbers were good, it did not matter. There was no matter what they were going to come. Wouldn't have mattered if they were blow the doors off, but like barn door numbers, and we came blasting up here. We still would have eventually came back down to where they want this market to be. So be aware of that as a trader. Be aware of that as an investor. That there is an aspect to this market that you don't have control over. That you can only try to parse together and try to say, oh, we have the chance of this happening and a chance of that happening. And you can see that play out this morning. And we saw it play out yesterday. They kind of I wanted to make this post last night, but I didn't. I should have. Is that sometimes through options flow, not always, because you have real money buying, real money selling, but options flow can sometimes not only drive the market, but can also be a tell. Like if you're sitting at a poker table, you can sometimes parse together what the market's going to do from options flow before it happens, and even before news drops or news is used as a vehicle to convey this is why the market's dropped. Now, if the numbers had come out this morning on PCE horrible, they would have said that we're selling off right now because of horrible PCE numbers, right? So I guess I wanted to make sure you guys are all following along with that. Now we're going to talk about, because it's the end of quarter, we're going to talk about some of the flow that's coming through this morning. And you can actually see this last one down here, right? This is July 8th. Oh, hold on, we'll scroll back up here. So then scroll back down here. You can see this one down here, right? It's, July 15th, 670p for $1.8 million. That's a huge bet. Unusual even for an end of quarter to have a July 15th, 15 days from now, such a low bet on the market. These are not sell orders. I know some of the flow services out there just throw a pile of garbage on the table. But Flow Algo uses specific indicators as to the specific quant analysis to make sure they're giving you, these are buying for a print down the road options flow. So we'll take a look closer at the options flow as it comes in today. The last thing to talk to you about is to expect wild swings in the market today, it being the 30th. And that's pretty much why this fucking chart looks so nasty here, is that there's so many levels that we can trade to. Now we're going to look closer on Bookmap this morning and just show you some of the levels down below. And we're going to, hold on a second, let me see if I can get all this stuff cut back together here. You can see above here 375, right? This should be S1 this morning, and we have broken below S1. You want to see S1 get reclaimed here from this 372.56. We touched that previous low you can see here. You want to see an attack back up high to 375 from where we currently are. You can see this 37.250 was some support. some laddering down below. This support is that recheck of that previous low. We talked about that yesterday. Then down below that, we've got 370, 365 down below here. You get a little bump here, and then 363, and then in reality 360 down below here. Let's take a look one more time on this other chart over here and just show those levels. You can see the collars down here at 362. You can see 365 here. I doubt we get to this 200 MA WMA this week. I think it's closer to the end of earnings season that will trail off just like Q1. You'll see that pump, and then you'll see that trail off into as the majors, as big tech and all these other companies are made to walk the plank, just like they were back in like they were back in Q1. The other thing to remember too in this idea is that regardless of the 200 week moving average, I think it's at 352 right now or 350. It should still continue to climb until it matches up with wherever we are in the market if we continue to go down. So this date is kind of manifest destiny unless we have some Ukraine news or you've got the Fed put. That's what a bull is looking for, is for that 200 weekly moving average as a test. I think that strike down below here on Tesla is like 600, or it was a week or two ago. I don't know where it is right now. I have to go back and look. But other than that, we're going to take a look at options flow for the moment. We're going to bring this one up, or let's see if I can bring that one up real quick. And we're going to look at some, you can see the flow sentiment is bearish this morning, and that's because of all of the hedging that's coming into the market. I want you to see Tesla here. That's pretty severe right there, right? 670p, 715. My assumption is that they're expecting a lot less than 670 for Tesla. They're going to be expecting somewhere around that 600 test, 620 test, and that's quite soon, right? This is implying that Tesla's going to sell off into their earnings season as well. We're going to look at some other highlights this morning as well. We've got that Tesla. We've got this one here, FXI 916.22, $2.1 million. Spy 711 364C for $693,000. But look at this other Tesla, 71680p. I'm assuming there's some spreads out there possibly as well for Tesla to close at a lower number. We'll take a look, keep looking down here. We've got a $1 million PANW for January 20th, 2023, 370p for $1 million. And then we've got the QCOM March 17th, 23, 100p, $2.3 million. Actually, this will be a really good one for, we'll talk about that one later this morning. That's a good one to be talking about, but not for the reasons that you think. So that we've got Amazon 7-1, $600,000. And we've got ARCC 819.22 for $529,000. What else of note do we have so far? We're just squeeze through some of this stuff here. NVIDIA 120.23, 130p, $741,000. And then NVIDIA as well, and this is 7-1, 22 for 120. Well, that's not that big of a deal. Let's keep scrolling through. Right off the open this morning, you saw weakness, and you can see what came through. $18 million for 819.22, 357p. That's a pretty large trade against the SPY heading into August. This is not that far along here, right? $19 million against this market heading into August 19th on a low of the market. There can be some argument that this is a long-only hedge fund forced into this contractually to buy these hedges, but in all reality, this is if I had to guess, this could possibly be. I'll have to check to see what this is later on, but we're gonna try to find out. This isn't the JPM caller either, because that comes on somewhere else. Wait a minute, what else do we got here? That's not a big trade. So I'm trying to bounce back and forth on the numbers here. And that's it. That's all I've got so far. But this one right here, this SPY one is pretty big. $19 million. That one hurts. $8, $8.44, and $8.39. These are huge puts. This is 21,000 contracts, right? At a pretty steep price against the market. That's pretty big. So put that back there. 372.56 had that previous low. Let me know if you think we go up from here or not. Let me push this back down here. Try to reclaim S1 at 375. And I'm going to read to you next this morning. I'm going to leave you guys to watching your screeners. I'll put the news back on. I'm going to read to you a couple things to go over today or this morning for you. Just give me 1 second here. Already recovering right now, so we'll see if we get that recovery today. I'm going to put this on a 1-day chart or a 1-minute chart. Nice, beautiful bounce. Broke through this previous low. Talked about this yesterday. Hitting this previous low here. Coming up on a v-wop right now. We'll see if we can reclaim v-wop. The price target above looks like 375.14. So we'll lower this one down right here. See if we can gain this 375.14. We'll look a little bit higher. So we'll get this a little bit. 375.21. Right there. Above it, we've got 375.93. And then all the way up into 376.73. And we'll see if we see anything even higher here. 378.50 and 381 above from there. I don't think we've got much above here. I don't think we're getting all the way up here anymore. I think 390 might be off the table unless it's end of the day. End of the day kind of a thing. 388 and 390. We'll keep our eyes on this one and this climb above here. See if we can break above this v-wop and hit that. Let's see if I can bring this over a little bit. Let me highlight this a little bit better. Yeah, it's kind of disappearing. Looks like there's some resistance right now on v-wop. And then a new target above. Right there. There it is. Give me just a second here. And I'll check your comments in just a second. Good morning to all of you out there if you're just joining us. If you want, you can always go back, pause the program, and check back. If you are a new listener, new watcher, we're starting to climb up here, 375.24. Looks like the resistance has moved slightly higher, 376. So we'll put this next target above to 376. See if we can make it above there. Man, this is like floating around. Sellers all the way up to 377.50. We'll see if we can get up here and get that squeeze off. I gotta check my portfolio here for a minute. June 30 or June 1st. I'm going to add some 380Cs. All right. Okay, so hold on 1 second here. So I'm going to read this note to you real quick here. The resistance today shows at 380, then 385. Support shows at 3750, then 3700. There are a lot of large flows in the market today, not just from the JPM roll, but likely too from macro rebalancing due to quarter end. We therefore see little directional edge today, but continue to think that quarter end has opened the window to further downside into July. Just take note that we saw those SPY puts come into the market, those Tesla puts come into the market this morning. This is a function of put support rolling to lower strikes. We look for the put wall 3700 to be rolled lower as a key signal that more downside is ahead. Our models estimate 5 to 10% of S&P delta expiring today, which is driven by that deep in the money 4285 put that JPM owns and expires today. Well, this, and now I guess people are saying that they own it, right? We now know that they own it. Well, this is a large position. It's a singular position. And in total, this expiration pales in comparison to the June 17th OPEX. You can see this in the plot below, wherein we plot raw delta for puts, teal, and calls Navy. 630. The 630 expiration is smaller than that of July 15th, which is regular Monday expiration, compared to the June OPEX. Hold on a second here. I'm going to show you guys. Hold on a second here. I'm going to show you this OPEX expiration. Just a second here. Just a second here. I'm going to open this up. This is the expiration that we're talking about here. You can see, I don't know if you can see my cursor over this. My cursor looks kind of weird. But you can see down here hold on here. My eyes are all cocked sideways. Right here is the first one here on the left side of your screen. You'll see this expiration this is the 630 expiration. You can actually see a larger expiration on 715 and then 916. And these are the put values. I don't know if you can see my cursor. It's got like a little black dot. I don't know if I can do like an eraser or something. Right over here is the first one. Here's the next one. And I've got 916 and then 1216 for put. And you can see that the puts outweigh the calls potentially, especially even today as well. So I'm not going to rip into the close today and the 30th. As these puts expire, maybe we'll see a nice fat rip into the close due to this expiry. So it's not going to be this huge Vanna rally that's going to go to the moon. And it shouldn't carry over into there should be some onto the first tomorrow, but not there's a little bit tomorrow, but not a ton. Looking forward, the major downside area we continue to watch is the February 20th high, which is less than 10% from here. And interestingly, the new JPM strikes will likely be around this area. So this could place this could be a place to mark as important longer term support. So we'll look at what's 10%. We'll take a look at what 10% is from here. We'll actually check it out on SPX real quick. And funnily enough, I've got I actually have an SPX chart up right now. We'll see if we can move this down here. So 10% on SPX actually breaks that weekly moving average if we were to take another 10% down from where we are currently. So that would infer that if into July or even this quarter we trade lower, then we trade another 10% lower, and that actually puts us down to this 312 down here, right? You can see this 312, 285 number that I was looking at. Actually, let's go back where that is. We can see right here. We can see right where this big giant level of support is in the market. You can see back here on November, heading into January of 2020, this large area of support. Now, if we do break below this level here, this is the conversation that we're having on that weekly moving average. Hang tight here. If that weekly moving average comes across here, right, we eventually tag up with it. And if we trade below this and we can't reclaim it, right, well, this would be reclaiming it 1 test, 2 tests, and we're off and running. If we can't do that, what you end up seeing is that break, right, and then we are in for a nasty ride heading into end of year. This is what you, not that you don't want to see it. As a bull, though, you definitely want to see that break below, right, the reclamation, and then this move higher. You don't want to see 08 where we actually crashed back through. I think it was 08 or 01 when we broke back above the weekly moving average, and it was a huge fake out, like two tests, and we actually ended up crashing the market. I think it was 08, 01 that we had that one scenario happen, and the other one we just broke below a couple tests, and we were off and running down lower into end of year. So consider this as we move forward into July for the rest of this quarter, as this is setting up. Let me get rid of this here. To the upside, 4,000. This is the positive news if you're a bull. To the upside, 4,000 is the major strike to watch due to large open interest. We believe that the market cannot hold a sustained rally without more clarity from the Fed, which we already know, right? We know we need clarity from the Fed. We need Ukraine. We need a test of the weekly moving average. We need something out there to give the market a reason to have a sustained rally. We know we don't have that currently in this market. So without more clarity from the Fed, which likely comes with a more definitive pause reduction in inflation. With that, we want to see larger call positions added as puts are closed, some things that our models have not seen of late. We will therefore be looking at major Fed meetings plus expirations as areas to position for rallies, sustained rallies. One of these windows seems to be late July. So this last note is saying to you that if you're even looking as a bull, if you're even looking for any form of sustained rally, that you're only looking for there's a few things you're looking for. You're either looking for you're either looking for a Fed meeting that's scheduled, right? You're looking for a velocity, as Winky was saying yesterday, right, of a crash, i.e. a crash, where they would come out, and a few days thereafter they would come out, and then there would be a Senate hearing, and they would reinstitute unlimited QE once again. You're looking for Ukraine to end to stem shortage, implied stem shortages and stem gas issues with gas supply, gas pricing, on and on and on and on. So you've only got a few things that you're looking for, and the last thing you'd be looking for would be that test of the weekly moving average. I can't think of any other headline news that makes a sustainable rally in this market. And you shouldn't either. That you shouldn't. And we actually talked about that last weekend in the last post that we made, that it's the same regime, that this rally too will fail. And you'll even see whatever rally that comes into earnings season, regardless of what the earnings reports are, you should see that same rally, any rally that takes place in that earnings season, to fail as well at some point. All right, so all that's out of the way. We're already getting a lot of stuff out of the way this morning. Let's get to day trade at some point here. Hold on here. I'm going to turn this down. Whew, saved me a whole post on at Captain's Alpha not having to type that whole entire post up. We'll take a look.
According to United Nations, EU diplomat says that they're concerned we may not make it over the finish line to revive the Iran nuclear deal.
Spy 819 357p came in for $420,000. See what else we see here. Q's 722 278p. BA October 21st 140p for $2.5 million came in. Another Tesla call or put came in at 1033. That's 722.
Kuwait Oil Minister saying that Kuwait oil output is increased to 2.811 billion barrels per day, according to the state news agency.
DocuSign with a pretty significant.
Excuse me, that's 2.811 million barrels per day.
So what else we see in here? Las Vegas Sands, January 20th, 2023, 38C for $683,000. Yeah, some pretty severe puts against Tesla and Spy today. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying on. Yeah, I'm long here, Akina, if you want to know, and I'm adding calls as the morning progresses. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Jesus, Winky, good job on the SIG puts. Yeah, I haven't looked at Tesla yet this morning. Let me take a peek at Tesla real quick. Let's bring up the Tesla chart from yesterday. We looked at a macro view on Tesla yesterday. This was the price target if you were a Tesla bull for a place to actually buy, right? And where's that buy zone? It's below this 600 area, right? We're looking for this test. See if I can bring this a little bit closer here. And they've got these puts for mid-July at 650. So anything below here, right, into July 15th, that's not too far away, right? It's not too far away. July 15th, which is right where my box is, right there. Shocker. Shocker. So they're looking for any kind of weakness from here into July. Now Tesla could have a great ER. It's not really relevant, right? This is implying that there's going to be a sell down into their ER at some point, and that they're betting upon this taking place. Do I think that we're going to sell down into July? There's never really a crystal ball. But as a Tesla bull, we made this box yesterday to say, hey, set alerts down here for a buy on Tesla over a longer period of time. And if you're looking at Tesla, why are we looking that far below? And there's a reason for it, and it's because of all this support that we have here. Now, let's say we break this. I don't know if how many guys. I know the long-term traders know this, or investors. But whenever you spend a time around an area, if you're not a long-term trader or investor, somewhere in here. So when you see that we spend time in zones like this, it's hard to break through this stuff. This is established support back here. But you can see that there's this pretty significant drop-off down here, right? Once we start to break through time. So you have to be aware of this as well. You kind of want to see this get bought here and not start to break below. Could we break below into lower numbers into September? It's going to all depend upon. This is being 100% honest. It all depends upon that weekly moving average. If you guys start to see, and I'll be honest with you, between now and July, possibly August, if you start to see, when I checked a week or two ago, it was 600 was the weekly moving average. So if that weekly moving average comes up here, let's just pretend that this is it right here, right? If it comes up here and you do start to see Tesla break down, it would be with the market breaking down. And if you start to see stuff like this, I want to warn you guys out there. If I don't know how long of a market participant, how long you've been participating in this market. I don't know how long you've been in this market, but I'll tell you something. I was in this market back in 07, 08, somewhere in there. And I'll tell you what, when you break below this stuff and you start to confirm that we're heading lower, and you say to yourself, there's no possible way that'll happen. You know that it's happened to Amazon in the past. You know very large companies have seen these moves. So if we do see something like this start to take place, and you say, well, we'll never see this price on Tesla, I can assure you that if you start to see the Fed break things, they like to break things, we already know that, that if we do start to break stuff, and you were making a joke yesterday that JPM, you'll find out that JPM actually owned, or one of these large banks actually owned a ton of Tesla because they put it into a 401k or a pension plan or a fund or something, because for the past 10 years, everyone wants Tesla in their fund, right? In their 401ks or whatever. and they're aggressive funds. So when you see stuff like this, I want you to be aware of this as we move forward into July and August. That if you start to see the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the NDX start to break really hard, this could be significant into end of year, at least September, maybe to even December. Even if we had like this beautiful summer, we bounce off the 50, but if we were to recheck it and then break below that 50, it gets nasty. This is when you start to see. You don't really see it here. You're not gonna see it here. You're not gonna see like market devastation in here. When you start to see real devastation, right, demand destruction, when you start to see people lose their homes, people lose their jobs, people, all that not nasty shit, right? You start to see like Vail start wanting middle class people coming to ski at their resort, stuff like that, right? See high end places asking the poors to come. What you end up doing is this is when this takes place here. So this is the baddie. This is the one to watch out for. Okay, so just be aware of that as you trade forward with Tesla. This seems logical. The 650 puts. I can't say that it's not a bad trade. I honestly can't say it's not a bad trade heading into. I can't honestly say that if you're long a bunch of Tesla stock that you wouldn't take that hedge. You don't know how it's structured either. It could be structured in a ratio spread to protect just longs that they have. It might not just be straight puts either. So I looked at Tesla for you. No. So let's be clear. So Ergo is saying that the Tesla 200 weekly moving average is 414 per trading view. I want to be clear here to you if you're a Tesla bull. When you're trading Tesla, now Tesla can trade on its own, but when it more commonly trades along with the market. That weekly moving average that I'm talking about is the market weekly moving average. You want to be not be comparing the price of Tesla, but the price of the weekly moving average for the stock market, because there are macro implications on individual tickers, regardless of how nice you like them or how great you think that they are. That's an important point to make, because oftentimes you'll look at in previous market crashes, right, and in short-term debt cycles, like, and I guess you could call, I don't know if you want to call 08 or 0001 market crashes, but when the market fails, right, when we have market failure, you need to stop paying attention. Yeah, I think I've got Tesla pegged at 360 as a possible low if this market does go there. If the market breaks and holds and breaks below the weekly moving average, you would wind up seeing Tesla. I think Ergo said 414. I think I tagged it at 360 on my own charts, not the weekly moving average where I would expect like the bloodbath to occur. But always, especially when I want to focus on this for a minute. I posted this on Twitter a couple weeks ago. If you haven't already, you need to start looking at weekly charts, monthly charts, weekly moving averages, monthly moving averages, and start comparing them by years and decades, believe it or not, and start looking for lows in the market. Now, it did even on that same note. I still posted on Twitter with that statement that this is still one of those places that you generally want to dollar cost average. It's one of the places where I agree with Warren Buffett that if you had 2 or 3 places to buy this market, it's probably here, close here to the weekly moving average. There's one other spot below the high end. So there's another spot below where you'd have a high and a low of breaking the weekly moving average. The second spot would be that high area, and the low area would be that third buy for you, so that you don't actually miss that swing higher. You start with, I believe it's 15% or 30%. Then you do it's a 15%. Then I think it's 45%, and then 50% for that last buy. So if the market does recover, you're vested. If the market continues lower, you can dollar cost average in and you'd only be behind by a tiny fraction of where you would need it to be. Well, we can talk about that again, and maybe I'll just make a post about it so you guys can comprehend that. What I'll do is I'll do a post where I show 3 buy areas for Tesla specifically, or the SPY. If we were to bloodbath this, if we got down to like 260, 300, 240, 210, something like that, doesn't matter. If we had a legitimate market collapse, how you would still buy right here, you would still buy at the 300, 320 level, and then you would buy at the 260 level, and just percentage-wise, you would still be ahead. Now, if the market reversed before we ever got there, you would still be way ahead as well. So this is still a place. If you're buying the stock market to actually buy stock, anywhere down here, like 360, 350, somewhere down here is one of the areas to actually accumulate this market. So I'll make a post about that. I'll make sure I make a post about that before the weekend is out, or before the weekend starts, or maybe over the weekend I'll make that post so you can actually see how that works, even in market failure, market collapse, that you would want. Now, the only caveat I would put on that is, I would personally, I probably wouldn't buy Tesla. I would buy like the S&P 500 and not Tesla. And the only reason, and you can go back and buy Tesla. This is the key. You can go back and buy Tesla. In this post I'll make, you can actually go back and then buy Tesla at whatever price it's at, and it would be just like you bought Tesla at the bottom. The only caveat to this statement that I'm making is that you have some insurance making these 3 buy areas by buying the S&P 500 due to bankruptcy, failures of companies, especially stuff that's unknown. You might not expect a big company to declare bankruptcy. I'm not saying that Tesla does, but I am saying that you get protected by that by actually buying the S&P 500. If we have that market collapse, let's say we have that market collapse to go down to, like, let's say SPY goes down to 260, 240, some kind of real nastiness, right? 210. You would want to own that rather than any company, so that the S&P 500 would dump and add companies that survived and that are going to move up, and then you could take your pick of companies. You can say, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to buy Tesla. I'm going to buy, I don't fucking know, Walmart or whatever company you think is high growth. Apple, if Apple were to survive, if Google were to survive. But you never know. Sometimes we have these market collapses, you'll find a large company like a Google, believe it or not, and you'll look like a Google. I know you say this will never happen, but any of these real big Fortune 500 companies could collapse, and you don't know in the background what's going on with their company and their internals. Trading higher now, trying to get back to that 376.50. We're seeing that move higher right now currently. We'll see if we can continue higher from there. I'm going to give you a better target here above and see if we can see anything. Real light trading today, relevant to normally. We don't have a ton of trading today. A 376.65 would be another target here above. So we'll take a look here, and let me see if I can get back to the SPY real quick. So you have 370. Let me look here. Looks like we're hitting that 365. Looks like the sellers are coming down from 376.50 right now. So we're going to pause here. Now we'll look above to 378 next and 376.72. So we'll actually bring this one down just so we can 377.50 somewhere right in here. Or actually, we'll just leave that one right there. And we'll see if we can break up into this zone above. And actually want to see if there's a rejection here. 376.67 right there. We'll draw a little box here. Make this clear as day for you. Right there.
So the US is to sell $45 billion of 3-month bills on July 5th to settle on July 7th. US is to sell $42 billion of 6-month bills on July 5th to settle on July 7th.
You got some 380Cs that were at like 88 cents and up to $1.30. There for July 1st. Still have 390s as well for July 1st. And I think I got 400s. I think I got some 400s that burnt to the ground. They're at like 9 cents yesterday. I think they killed them. Yeah, they're at 1 penny now. So they murdered all the 400s. So you can just take 400 and say, no fucking way is that happening. They were at 9 cents yesterday. So you got a little bit of rejection coming up here. Look for a retest of v-wop down below, 374.64. We'll start to chart it out for you. See if there's a dip buy to be had. What am I looking for here? Hold on here. Some wonkiness going on. I don't know if I can actually...
This stream is sponsored by TickStrike. TickStrike allows you to actually hear order flow in futures, forex, and stock instruments. Get a free trial at tickstrike.com.
Dump that one in the trash. Give me just a second here. Why is that not showing up here? Hang tight for just a second. Had some weirdness happen. I reset my computer and then there we go. All right, that's much better. Much better.
According to US Deputy UN envoy, saying that Iran has yet to show any real urgency to reach an agreement to revive the 2015 nuclear deal. And Libya's NOC, they plan to reopen Mabruk field in the first quarter of 2023 with production up to 25,000 barrels per day. That's according to a statement.
See, we get a nice little bounce here. $376.77.
Libya's NOC says that losses after the terrorist attack on Mabruk oil field amount to $575 million.
Hang tight.
Algeria's oil output is to increase 1.055 million barrels per day in August, as according to state news agency quoting the energy minister.
Let's take a look at the VIX real quick. $328.82. So the VIX looking for 28, 86. See if we can get a break. I want to add some more calls here. Nice little bounce on the VIX or on SPY. Looking to see if the SPY will break through here and trade down to 28.85. Bring that over right there. Can you guys hear me? Is that his name now? We got a name for him, Uppity Butler? All right, we'll turn his voice down. All right, I turned him down a little bit. Let me see what you guys are saying in the let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, SPY down to 28.85. I don't know what that is a reference to. Yeah, did you see that, Winky? The QCOM. Did you see the QCOM 100p? That's a really odd. The QCOM 100p is an odd one. But, you know, you're talking about a market break, right? That's the implication, is that we're going to get a market break. I can see the logic behind it. That would put it back down to what? What's the March lows? March lows are 55.71. I mean, you're basically saying, right, that this is distribution. We know what distribution looks like, right? And I would assume that they're thinking more than just 100. This seems like a logical stop down here. There's some support here at 100, roughly here, right? But then we've got free falling down below. And I would say this is real support even below. Somewhere right here. Price target down below is going to be, with that trade, between 91.18 and 71.42, if it can even survive that. My one question on QCOM would be, would there be a merger in here at some point? That would be my question down in here. So this is the price target. We always revisit these. You're right. We tag these and revisit them. So we'll see if we hit it. And this is going into 2023, right? I think it was January. Could be wrong on this, but I think it was January 2023. So there's the price target. That's my price target. If you get 100 Ps, you got to get lower. It's probably, if they're doing 100 P, I'm assuming that they're expecting $71 to $91 on QCOM. It's pretty significant. Nice little rip again on the SPY. This is beautiful right here. If you guys are watching closely on day trading, this is a beautiful little, we drew this in right here before it happened. Trying to head back up again. 377.50 is on board and higher to 379. So we got 377.50. Should have a nice little squeeze in here. And then above you can see, if you follow my cursor, we've got 378.93. So we're going to raise this up slightly up here. And we'll see if we can get 380Cs are now up to $1.50. They're not losing. One other note, if you watch my cursor right here, every time we consolidate here, I'm not losing any money on these calls. They're just maintaining their premium. So just heads up on the squeeze that's taking place. That the squeeze is we are also maintaining, and we'll move this little bull flag as we create another one. Usually get 3 pumps minimum, so we've got 1, 2, and maybe that third one up here to 378, 379, somewhere up in here. 379 is right here. So that would be my expected move. The move that I'm going to expect is somewhere. Let's see if I can put one in. Somewhere in here. That's where I'm going to expect it to go to. Not guaranteed, but a decent chance of it heading up here. Unless we see rolling hedging coming in. Okay, so let's see what you guys are talking about. Good morning, Matthew. How are you? I'll load up Tesla so you guys can see where to expect Tesla to go for today. It should follow the SPY-ish. So we'll take a look. We'll let Tesla load up in the background. I'll keep going through and see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, so let's talk about that. So, Captain, does your flow system show a sell? Yeah, so I thought it was that whale too, Marcus. I thought that was the whale. I don't think that's the JPM trade, but my guess, I haven't looked yet, but I think that is the whale, and I also think that the JPM trade's probably, I haven't looked yet to see if the JPM trade is done yet or partial. Sometimes it's done in the morning. Oh, a bunch of stuff in JPM trade. They're going to try to obscure it this quarter. Supposedly, that's the whispers on the street. Second thing is they might break it up when they place that trade. It might already be out. I haven't looked. And this could just be the whale, or it could be someone mirroring that trade as it came out this morning. So I'm not quite clear yet on that trade. But I want to tell you, though, pertaining to your question specifically, that this flow software. So when I've had every flow software out there. Some are better than others. Some tell you more information than others. This one tells you specifically that it's a buy. It's not a sell. I know, and I don't want to talk about the argument between is it a buy or a sell, or is always a buy or a seller on every side of every trade.
Spokesman, Kremlin sees risks that Western sanctions could hit Russia's revenues from oil exports.
We can talk about Gazprom later on too, but this specific software.
This stream is sponsored by To The Tick. Get free daily pivot points, Fibonacci, and market profile levels by signing up at tothetick.com.
This specific software app is used basically for market direction in the immediate. They do some golden ticket stuff that I'll show you the golden tickets when they pop up. That they give you rules for how to trade those golden tickets. They have high algo scores, low algo scores. They match this stuff up with dark pool and real money selling and buying, and there's signatures even to options flow. And so they'll track them as they come in. They track how unusual they are, what makes them unusual. If a ticker typically does, it has to do. I've got the list somewhere, but I always forget it. Like I study it and then I fucking forget what it all means. But generally, I use this flow software for immediate impact on the market or just the trend in the day. Specifically, even for today, being end of quarter, I use it to see where the hedging lies or is being put in the market. And this stuff's all at the ask or above. This is aggressive buying. And it's also when it's split. If it's whatever the other fucking two are. On the top of my head, I can't think of it right now. A sweep, a split, or whatever the other one is. There's like a third one.
So the Fed bids for 4 deals total $3.5 billion.
No, not. Yeah, have I tried unusual whales? Yeah, fuck unusual whales too. Seriously, I've literally tried every flow software out there, and the best, most accurate. The key. Well, the key. So number one. So I buy stock, right? I'm a bull. Let's start with I'm a bull. I used to trade often. I used to trade swings. I'd trade 1 to 3 month calls. I got a whole show on why you can't do any of that stuff right now in this market as a bull. And I've been reduced to mostly trading the S&P 500.
It's also just keeping an eye out on the oil market as well. So oil is headed for its first monthly decline since November. As OPEC Plus completed the return of output it halted during the pandemic, and the US President Biden said he'll push allies in the Persian Gulf region to boost production next month. So you had WTI that dropped as much as 4.3% alongside broader markets to trade near $105 a barrel. Biden did say he'll request more output at the Gulf Cooperation Council Forum rather than asking Saudi Arabia directly. Remember, he is supposed to be going to Riyadh in July or mid-July.
So on, so I was trying to remember back. Horse Lover Fat and I were talking about this, I think, back in January or December of 2021, where we were cutting all of our holdings. Back in that time period, we were cutting, and I was reduced. I had reduced down to very small holdings in the stock market, and then by September. August, September of 2021, I was making videos on to sell the last of your holdings if you were holding like Apple's, anything that was part of the QT stuff, any like the corporate debt bonds and stuff like that, where they're being supported by that program. That was when I got out of my last of my Apple stuff and Tesla stuff. And then from then into January of this year, I've reduced myself to only trading the S&P 500 rather than individual tickers. Let me see what you're talking about. Yeah, I thought GLD was not paper gold. I thought that was backed by. Did they stop backing GLD by real gold? I haven't seen that article, Winky, either. Does that have to do with the GLD ticker that claims that they own the physical Barack Gold or whatever? Okay, I see Apple. Yeah, I'll bring Apple up for you. Let's do Tesla real quick. I'm going to move this one up here. Give me just a second here. Should actually get a nice little print off this next one. Which usually leads to a nice ripper. I'll do Apple next. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla's bouncing off some resistance here. I want you to see this. There is some resistance forming here on the SPY. Then, if you see this resistance on Tesla, be wary of this right here. Good job of calling out, looking at Tesla, because this is some pretty significant resistance. We'll look above 668, 680, 686, 680. We might get some resistance here. And then that famous 700. This is a big one to be looking at right here on Tesla, 688, 686. This looks like a volatility trigger of some kind. The actually starts lower at 684.39. If you're long on calls right now, we want to see this. You want to see this grind through here. It's pretty big resistance as well, and then it looks like we got some volatility above at 688 or so. So we can see that. Yeah, see that right there, 686. This is pretty significant resistance here. I'm going to actually adjust this and look to go down. If we can break through this part here, should be clear skies though to 686 on Tesla. We'll look at Apple next. Actually, I'll just leave this up, and then I'll bring up Apple next.
Just remind a few at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, the US is to sell $35 billion of 4-week bills. Previous bid to cover ratio being 2 to 90. Previous high yield rate being 1.100%.
Go back to the SPY real quick. There's no resistance here in the SPY. This could be hidden resistance on the SPY. So be conscious of this. Be careful of a quick rollover here. You're seeing resistance.
So we actually seen from the Financial Times, UK ministers tap Barclays to secure investment for a new nuclear plant.
What I can see. Man, that VIX is just building. I want to see you guys to see something here. Just that overall, like market view.
Taking a look at this Financial Times piece, UK ministers have hired Barclays to lead a search for investors willing to back a large new nuclear plant at Sizewell on England's east coast as part of a push for more secure domestic energy sources, according to 4 people familiar with the appointment. The government is keen to forge ahead with the 3.2 gigawatt plant capable of generating electricity for 6 million homes at Sizewell in Suffolk as part of Prime Minister Boris Johnson's aim to build 8 nuclear reactors by 2030. We will shortly post out this piece.
I'm going to mute that right there. I don't want to listen to that guy talk. What's his name again? I forget his name. But you see this up here, right? That's a nice move up. Another one up, right? Another one up. Another one up. And initially, the thought process was we'd break through here, right? This would be a great earnings cycle, and then you might get that swing up later in the year, but we're not seeing that right now. You're actually seeing a bid in this, right? If we blast up through here, this would be that nastiness that comes into July. Where you'd see that. Well, you wouldn't probably see higher than 40. Probably see 40. Maybe you'll see 50. Possibly. That's just a larger time frame on the VIX. I'm going to take a look around the market real quick. Let's take a look around the market together. Because I don't know that everybody does this. If you don't do this, if you trade the stock market, I want you to start doing this. So if you're in the middle of your day and you don't know where we're headed, you should be checking a few things. Look, get rid of Qualcomm. We're going to get rid of Tesla. I don't care if you're trading Tesla. I don't care if you're trading SPY. I don't care if you're trading the Qs. I don't care what you're trading. Unless it's a meme stock. I guess you'd do the inverse if it was a meme stock, right? First thing I'm going to check in is the VIX, right? Where are we at in the VIX? We already took a look at that. Going to check the SPY, right? See where you're at. Whoop. Coming in, you might be questioning yourself, are we coming into resistance here or not? I don't know, right? So we're going to look and see if we are, right? XLK, I'm not seeing any resistance here in XLK, right? I'm not seeing it till we get above, right? So I think we got room to go, right? XLK, big weighter of the S&P 500, so I think we got some push ahead, right? Probably get up to 127.95, right? XLF, another big driver of the stock market. We already know we're heading higher. We're not going to see any kind of resistance till we get to 31.67. We already looked at the VIX and said it can drop down to 28 and change, right? We're going to look at XLE, same kind of a thing. We know that XLE can trade on its own without the market going its same way, but you can see that XLE has a little bit of room here to push higher, right? And it's driving the S&P 500 right now. XLV, shit in the bed right now. That's not a good sign. I don't like seeing this because I want to be long XLV right now. This is concerning, seeing this dip in XLV. I don't like seeing this. Let me take a look back. If I can get this back here. 5-day, right there. Actually, it's kind of looking kind of bullish, to be honest with you. This is actually looking kind of bullish to me. I'm interested in this now that I'm looking at it more closely. Oh, get rid of that. Juicy. I like that a lot. That's something to look into for next week sometime. We were talking yesterday about XLV. Yesterday, I like the idea of being long in XLV into July or August. XLRE real estate. I don't know about this one. This one's looking kind of bearish. To be expected. Industrials, or actually materials, I like a lot right now as well. Like the idea of materials. Like to see this double bottom down below here on XLB. Similar down here with XLI. We know that the SPY can move higher because of XLK and XLF. Hold on here. That's a lower low. That's not healthy. I don't like seeing that down here. XLB, and I want to be long XLB too, so I'm not happy with that lower low. XLY, It's a kind of a higher low going all the way back to the 16th. XLP, man, this is not good watching this stuff. I don't like seeing that and this. I don't like seeing that. And XLP. XLU, the usual. Boy, this is definitely looking like a rollover. This actually could be pretty bullish. Yeah, I don't want to see that drop over there. And then there's NDX. So the SPY has some room to go. You can see that SPY has some room to move higher. Try to look around here, around the market, see what the SPY can do. Attempt to close this gap. Probably want to pay attention to a gap failure here on. Hold on here. We want to look, make sure we don't get a gap failure on NDX. You want to see that gap get closed, 1154 to 11619. That's kind of concerning. Nice trading higher still in the SPY. Let's see how high we can get. I gotta watch my calls over here. 379.50, 380. We're gonna extend this box up. My 380p or 380Cs are now $1.92. They were 88 cents, so they're at 110%. I'm gonna put a stop in up here right now. I'm gonna put a stop at $1.80. So doing very well. Price target above right now is 30.80.50. I doubt we get this high. This is going to be doubtful up here, okay? This should I write that in there? Do I have to write that in there for you guys? You guys already know. Nice, beautiful move. Talked about this move right here should lead to a large rip. We did get that large rip. We're going to see how long we can stay with this trend higher. See if we can take it to 380.50. 380C is where it's at on July 1st. I am not looking on July 30th. I don't want to have to deal with the 380Cs are at 97 cents right now for June 30th. I'm on June 1st because I don't want to deal with losing all my money with a pullback. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, it's a good trade. It's a great trade. It's an outstanding trade. Gonna fly by that gap. My opinion, we want to collapse unless we kill the bears on the way down. Has Tesla reached the bottom? Which bottom, Trevor? I need to know if you mean today, if you mean next month, if you mean this year. I need more context. Sometimes when you guys ask me questions, make sure you give me more context. Pumping now. Yep. How often do you do live streams? This is awesome. Just crushed some nice gains on 380Cs. Hey, you're welcome, Ross. I used to do them every day, but so my issue is that I'm being forced into. You're basically forced into a pay model. That's the legitimate what it is. You're basically by pay all the. Technically, I'm not supposed to take donations. They froze my donation page once, and I could lose any donations that I receive. So I stopped doing live streams because I don't want to charge for a subscription. But I've been doing them. So I've been taking breaks from doing live streams. I'd prefer to do them every day. I just haven't been able to. And the other issue is that if I don't do a pay model, it doesn't really pay for itself. It costs me money. It costs me a lot of money in time. And so I need to find that balance, and I haven't been able to find that balance to do live streams every day. So I'm still working on that. I haven't found something that I like. So my conscience, like as a person, as a human, like I have a conscience, believe it or not. And so we'll see if we get another one in here. I believe it or not, I don't want to steal your money or get you pissed off at me, anything like that. And I'm a trader myself, so I don't know. You know, so I don't make my money from you guys. So But I just got a trigger. I just sold I auto sold my calls. So wait to see if I can rebuy in here again. I'd like to see us get up here. So I might put some back on the table. Yeah, I'm going to put some back on. Actually, this is firming up right now. I want you to see this. 378.86. So we're just going to get rid of this box. We could extend here. Watch my cursor on the left. We could extend here, but the price target is going to be right below here. Just heads up. Let me see if we can find that for you. 378.76. So just be careful right about here. Okay. So we'll see if we get one more pump up here. I might put some more. Plus, my wife just yelled at me. She was like, "Why aren't you live streaming?" Because I haven't been live streaming. I don't have a job. I don't work. I trade for a living. Best job you can ever have. So I trade, and I just bought another house. I buy cheap houses, and then I renovate them. I live in them, and then I sell them or I rent them out. And so I've been working on a house I just bought. I'm thinking about doing a documentary for that too, if anyone wants to know. So if you guys want to buy a cheap house and know how to do it, it'll just be public, no paywall or nothing. So anyways, I appreciate the comment, man. Thanks for saying something. Oh, the movie Gold? Nope, I've not. You know, I think I'll have to go back and watch that Gold movie again. Hey, you're a boomer. Good to see you in here. How you been, brother? Let me see if I can scroll through and see what you guys are saying. Got a great comment section, by the way. Yeah, that voice is news. We're trying to give him a new name. We have to get a name that sticks for this guy. So I'm trying to scroll through up to see what you guys are talking about. All right, let me go back to the bottom and see what you guys are saying. Let me see. How can we donate without issue? So you can donate right now without issue. I had a meeting, a live meeting with PayPal. They're fine again. So I reposted donation links on the YouTube video, and I reposted recently on my @Captain's Alpha handle and my CaptainJimJames handle. I changed to a donation link. So they're allowing me back to do that again. I just don't want it to go to. It's a long, complicated thing. You guys have to understand. Like, if I sell you guys a subscription or anything like that, I have to promise you certain things. There's some other aspects to it too. You guys know when you guys subscribe to people, they leave an out. They always leave an out. They're always like, so there's always an out. Like, there's always like, well, I'll give you both. You know, we can trade here, we can trade there, but I'm not going to tell you where my bias is. It's kind of sketchy. Winky and I were talking about spot gamma, and you know, it's so fucking sketchy, these guys, and they get paid a bunch of money. It's really bizarre because I was talking to Joe Donut, and he's like, yeah, but you create value by selling it for a price. He's like, if you do a price, he's like if you do a price, they think it's more valuable for some reason. And then, but there's so many other, like, there's churn. There's all these other nonsense things you have to do. I just have no interest in being that guy. I never have. I've never sold services, anything like that. I've always just been either an entrepreneur for myself, where I produce something, like actually produce something, or I've worked where I produced something for somebody else when I was younger. I've never been a salesperson per se. Or wanted to be a salesperson where you're not getting something for what you're paying for. So it's hard for me to justify something that's free and available on the internet. It really is. It's hard for me to justify something when at one time I was a new trader and I fucking got smoked for years. Got smoked. So so I used to pay for mentorships, and I had some good ones, but I had some bad ones. And used to pay a lot of money for them, and you just see people come into the trading rooms and disappear from the trading rooms. They were normally new traders, new investors, have lots of money, and then once they whittled all their money down, they were gone, like poof, disappear. And of course, you have to advertise at that point to attract more new blood. And there's something about that that's like kind of gross. So you want to. So my point is that I'd rather be here and teach you guys how to become better day traders. And once we get to a point where we're back in a bull market, and Winky helps a lot of these traders here buy or know how to buy stocks and when to buy stocks. I tend not to focus on that right now. I focus mostly on the S&P 500. But once the market turns, you'll see me refocus again on individual tickers and things like that. So, but this isn't that regime for a bull. If you're a bull, the regime isn't, we're buying every fucking dip. Like, we're actually buying the physical underlying stock. We're not in that regime right now. So that regime changes depending upon what market we're in. Bear markets only last like 9 months or so on average. This one might last longer, but however horrible it feels, this will end soon. And we're on the back end of something like this happening or ending. So don't lose all hope. We got a little bit of a collapse here in the VIX right now. So I'm watching the VIX, a little bit of VIX collapse. Be careful right now in the VIX. I'm going to take a look with you. I'm going to show you the VIX right now. Should get a nice little pop right here on the SPY, but I also want you to see that this could be a reversal sign. I'm going to show you guys something right here, okay? Give me a second. I should just do this in front of you, not off screen. So this looks like a reversal. This looks like we're pumping right now, right on the SPY. And I want to show you. Oh, no, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave this up for you. I want to show you guys something. So we're getting a little pump in the SPY right now. But I just want you to be aware. So let's say if you can get yourself 2 computers or 2 screeners, an old computer or something to hook up to your to hook up, right? You'll see these little pumps take place. We're getting a little pump right now, but you want to see a break down below here. Watch my cursor. You want to see this break to get an extension of this pump. If you don't see that break, right, you're going to see a reversal of that candle here. So I want you to be aware of this. This is also another area right here, right? You see this nice gap that needs to be filled down here. We want to see us get down here to 28.31. This is one of those places we should see a collapse, but if we see a reversal, a trade higher, you could see a failure in this trade here. So where you'd be like, yeah, hey, I'm going to buy right now, right? You're like, hey, I'm going to buy this right here for this next rip higher. You just want to be paying attention at the same time because could be a false breakout right here. I want you to pay attention to this right here, right now. So you want to be, let's say you're like, hey, I want to buy a call right now on the SPY. I would personally, I haven't re-entered yet. So the 380Cs are now $1.66, $1.65. Right, I want to see a break below I want to see this plain break on the S&P 500 or on the VIX, excuse me. Before I enter these calls right now. I think we might get a failure here. Nope, starting to break. I'm back in again. See if we can break through here. This could be a nice rip. This could be a really nice rip. Watching the flow down below. Some nice calls coming in on the SPY. XLE, 1216 golden ticket. 1216.22. I got to keep an eye on both this as we're doing this. XLE, December 16th, 85C, $1.2 million. That's a golden ticket. Bunch of calls coming in on Tesla and SPY. PFE, that's not a big one. SPY, 630, 375C, $286,000. I want to see if this can break here. I'm looking for the, I'll show you exactly what I'm looking for here. I don't want to see a reversal here. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see this. That's what I don't want to see. What I want to see is a failure here. If you see this failure here, you're going to see SPY go to the moon. You guys all watching out there? You guys all paying attention? A little bit of a reversal on the SPY right, or on the VIX right now. I think it's going higher. So tight stops on this trade. The fuck is going on here with Tastyworks? Having problems on Tastyworks. Keep tight spots on this trade if you're long right here. This could reverse. If this is your first time joining us and there's a delay in my broadcast with you, go down to the description of the YouTube show, and you'll see a cog on the right-hand side. I want to see if it gets stopped. Go down to the cog, and you can click on the cog, go to the playback speed, and hit the fast forward button. YouTube delays these videos, all live streams. If you hit the fast forward, I'll sound like a weirdo for 15 seconds, and then it'll bring you up to a delay that's maybe just a few seconds from my actual broadcast, so that you can follow along in real time and trade in real time with us. We're doing very well. I'm still in this trade. I haven't gotten stopped out yet. 380C, now up to $1.84. It was down to $1.70 at one point, $1.60. So it's doing quite well once again. Price target above, still 380. We got a little bit of resistance above at 378.42. I'm going to take a look back on XLK. And matter of fact, I'll bring this over for you real quick so you can see it. I drew these in earlier, right? You guys remember me drawing these in earlier, and I said we have a little bit more room to go on XLK. You saw this resistance. We hit this, right, already? And I want you to see that's going to make another attempt to close this gap back here again, right? I want you to see that. I want you to also see it's probably here, and XLF has a little bit more room to go. So probably squeeze this higher. Probably get a nice little push above here. I like the idea of XLF closing this gap right here. Big driver of the S&P 500. So we're going to see if we can get that push above, and we can see if we can get that push down on the VIX. Oh, I'm out. I got tagged out on 380Cs. I'm flat once again. Let me line up another trade. Kind of doing nothing right now. Yeah, I got stopped out of that fucking trade. That pisses me off. We're trading higher, and I got stopped out. Almost like trading fucking Forex. They knew where my stops were. I got stopped out of that trade, which kind of pisses me off. I'm going to clean this up a little bit as this trade develops. It's going to be just heads up if we do fail somewhere up in here, it's going to be kind of nasty. Could be nasty. We can talk about the correlation of the VIX. We can talk about when the VIX and the SPY goes up, why it goes up with the SPY, when it goes down against the SPY. We can talk about reduced volatility within the VIX, vol, why that's down right now. That's another program. That's like a whole show. I'm kind of pissed that I'm missing this right now. I don't like missing a trade. I don't like getting fucking stopped out. Looks like there's no resistance. We're at 378.98. So we're going to raise this box up. Come on here. This is the please get me there. 378.98 or 379.98. Is that what it was? Kind of keep hiding it. There it is. Popping back up again. 378.82. Still kind of in that general area right here. Same trades as yesterday, right? Same way to make easy money in the stock market. Easy money every day. Be conscious of there are some real sellers up here. I want you to beware. Just a heads up that see this area above where my cursor is. There is some resistance here. It lines up to closing the gap in XLF. Another check of XLK as well, closing the gap on NDX on NASDAQ. So this move, if we make it up here, I'm not saying that there's going to be a full reversal, but I'd be wary up here as we get up here. So if you're going to be long here as we trade higher, pushing on up 377.89. Let's see if we can get up there. Now have a new above here, a new target above of 382.11. So this will be a nice new trading zone. If we can squeeze up in here, if we can squeeze and not catch a rejection, if you watch my cursor right here, we can squeeze up in here, and let me see if I can draw this in for you. So this is very bullish, by the way. This is very bullish. If we can squeeze up in here and bounce around a little bit, something like that, you'll see that next tag above here. It's pretty bullish. So we'll want to see that break above. This would be the test of the gaps on NASDAQ and XLF, XLK. And if we can get up in here and find some footing, we'll get up to 382 and above. If not, we'll start to see a rollover in here. So let's just see if we can get this, if we can move this up and ahead. We are coming into some resistance right now. VIX is starting to turn around as we come into resistance. This is definitely a volatility trigger. We want to see if we can break above here or not. Tight stops in here. If you are long this trade right here, have some tight stops. The fall could be quite severe. See if I can get this back better. Nice calls coming into the market right now. Calls on Apple, Tesla, SPY, Qs, XLE. Some good call structure coming in right now. I'm bullish on this right now. Oh yeah. SPY 380s are now up to $2.10. There's an implied move coming up here that we're going to smash through above. This is a sign over here that we're reversing. Just heads up, this is a pincer or a tweezer. This is showing signs of reversal of the green and then the red candle, but now you see the bulls fighting back. 380Cs are gaining premium right now. They're at $2.07. See if the bulls can hold on and push us higher. If they can break through or not. I want you to see these two candles right here are tweezers. These signal a reversal of trend. But the bulls are fighting back on this reversal, so we'll see if they can hold on to it. Should see a giant squeeze if we move higher. Make sure you have tight stops. In here, this is a very contentious area. New price targets above 382.72, 382 flat, 382 and change right up in here. We'll actually keep this one low here, and we'll do another one. $382 and some change. Support down below is at 376.43. So move this one higher. $376.43. Not seeing any major puts come in. 40,000 is not a big deal. 350. Let's see here, 1151. This $40,000 SPY put's nothing, to be honest with you. We're going to see if we're going to make this run higher. See if we can get some support up here at 378, and then make a major move higher. Lots of sellers in this area here. Don't want you to be aware of that. There are sellers here. There is volatility here in this zone. There is risk reversal in this zone. It's nice to see some supply above at 382.83 pop it in. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna take another long here in a couple seconds, if I can get one. Give me like $1.82 so I can get back in again. It's like $1.97. I want $1.82. I don't want to pay an extra 10 cents. You guys are liking this? Steven, you like this? Right on, Steven. Hey, Drink Tell, how are you? Yeah, go back in. All right, fuck it. Every time I go back in, when you guys tell me to go back in, we reverse. All right, ready? Hold on. I'm back in at $2. I'm back in 380 Cs for $2. I missed the 2.20 jump, which kind of sucks. But I'm back in right now. Let's see if we can get this push up higher. Let's look at that. Let's look at that right up in here. What is that? 379.26. Oh, hold on. 379.26. Move this line higher. 379.26. Right in here. So we can get that push up in here. Fucking drink. Every time you guys tell me to fucking, you're like, yeah, fuck it, do it anyways, Cap. That's when I always lose money. So Andreas has asked me why I trade SPY versus ES or the mini. So I have a bunch. So a couple things. I used to. All right. So I started out. I've traded everything. I don't. Generally speaking, right now I don't trade futures, Globex, because I don't like being awake 24 hours a day. It was almost like a gambling addiction. I would just spend every waking hour fucking surrounded by the market. Just too much for me. I guess sometimes I get asked why I don't trade SPX for tax benefits, stuff like that. I can come into so on any given day, whenever I live trade with you guys know most days I'm winning. Like I don't really lose too much day trade in the SPY. So, like I got a win rate of like 50 to 70%. During bull market, dude, I would like set it and forget it and walk away. It was that fucking stupid. So, Spy, I can come into Spy. I can make more money with less risk and pay the taxes and be ahead. And this is how I learned. So how I learned how to trade like this and arbitrage on zero dates and stuff like that. I learned how to trade this many years ago from Wall Street Bets. They don't do this anymore, but oh god damn it! Looks like we're gonna start fucking rolling it over. I want to push, baby. So I gotta keep an eye. I gotta set a stop here. I'm actually losing money right now. I'm back to making money, or I'm back to flat. I'm gonna set $1.80. So I've done everything right, but there was a time period like 7 years ago, 8 years ago maybe, where I learned about arbitrage from some very, very intelligent people on Wall Street Bets, and it's the outside of like the places where I've made huge amounts of money with big hits has always been arbitrage in the Spy, or in a bull market. In a bull market, the only way I'd make big money would be like during stock splits, unknown stock splits, with kick-ass ERs combined. Unknown news on a sideways ticker, with like long leaps and stuff like that. I would trade those often. Mostly I made money in the past just buying monthlies or 3-month calls, bull market stuff I'm talking about. But you can come into this market anytime you want. You can come into the Spy regularly in the Spy because it's so liquid. There's so much going on in it, so much money flowing through it, that you can just through arbitrage make a ton of money quickly. Unlike ES, unlike ESF, unlike SPX, there's so much price action, price movement in Spy itself that for me, I can't make that money. If even an ES contract, I can't put 20 grand down and make 40 grand that day. I'm lucky if I make $1,000 or $500 in a day. So, there's more money to be made in Spy for me personally. I'm up a little bit. I'm about 218 right now. I'm gonna change my stops to 210. Stops are at 210. Now trading higher, 378.42. A little bit of a squeeze higher. Got some nice big fat targets above. Weak sellers above at 379.32. And then we've got a big fat juicy target. This could be some bait, right? A bull trap up here, maybe. And then we got that up here, 382.88. That's up here. You see that? My cursor. Weak sellers above. Gonna see if we can get up in here, break through this area up here, and then have a slingshot up higher to 382. This is a good day. I'm very happy right now, by the way. I'm going to get stopped out again. Don't stop me now. Watching a little bit of a base forming on VIX right now. Make sure you have some tight stops here. Make sure that you has some risk controls going on right here. We could roll this over here. I know it says we're going up here. If you see my cursor, it says we're going up here, but this looks like a bull trap. XLK, I want to bring you over to XLK real quick and just show you this. Tight stops right now, okay, guys? I want you to see that we're testing right here. We have a little bit more room up here to close, but I want you to notice right here. A little bit more squeezability here, but even so, you can see we're testing already. This is right here, this previous low. This dip down below, and then we shot back up. A bounce, a bounce, a bounce. We'll see if we can squeeze it up higher right now. See if we can get this last little bit here. See if we can get just up in here, and you can actually see it on better on XLF. A little bit more room right here, right? You see that room that we have to go on XLF. So I'm holding long here. See if we can get this push up higher. I'm about to get stopped out again. Nope. Close, close, close. I'm going to lower my fucking stops to $2. I don't want to get stopped out this time. I'll take the risk. It's 9 out of $2 and a stop. Looks like it's going to roll over, but I want to see this push. I want to see this push higher. Hey, thanks, Marcus. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a good day, right, Arms? Did I see Mike Wilson calling for a brief rally? Yeah, I'm not anti a brief rally. Winky, did you post the Mike Wilson piece? I always feel like when Mike Wilson says something, I'll check that out. I always feel like when Mike Wilson says something like that, it happens like a week or two later. I feel like it's never like that week. I trust him when he says that stuff, but it's usually not the same day. We're getting a little bit of a roll right now, a little bit of a bid in the VIX. I'm still long right now. I'm not down. I'm up 20 cents, I think. No, I'm up. Now I'm flat right now, and I'm about to get stopped. I just got stopped out, so I didn't make anything on that trade. Nothing. I'm flat once again. I think Mike Wilson calls it pretty well, but whenever Mike Wilson calls something, it's usually a week or two later. So just be conscious of that. Yeah, it usually takes like a week or two for his shit to come true. He'll call like a rollover in the market, and the market will fucking blast off for fucking 100 points, and then it dumps like 300 points or something like that. Any tips on trading a small account and trying to get $25,000? Yes, I have a tip for that. Steven, if any of you guys are listening out there and you have a small account and you want to know how to make money with a small account, we can do a quick, brief tutorial. I was gonna do my intent was to do a challenge, but I'm running into some I'm running into some legal questions if I can actually run that challenge, because it could be financial advice, construed as financial advice, and I don't want to do that. So I can educate you. Even in a bear market, if you're a bull, you can build a small account below $25,000. Let's start with number 1. I'm going to start you with number fucking 1, okay? If you're an investor, a stock investor, if you're an options trader, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to direct you. If you don't know how to trade spreads, there are better places to trade spreads, but I implore you to learn how to place those trades. Whether you're paper trading them to practice. If you need help from somebody, reach out to somebody on Discord or in Twitter. Ask somebody for their phone number. If you're like watch a YouTube video and you can't wrap your head around the mechanics of that trade, you can do that. Another way you can do this is go to options AI. I think it's optionsai.com. And they have some very easy ways to, so we're rolling over right now. I'm going to stop this conversation real quick. So as we roll over right here, we're we're gonna look for where we should look for some support below. And we're gonna follow this trend line right here that I put in, right? So I move these trend lines up, and then this one trend line right here, I'm gonna watch it again, right? So why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I want to see if we can form another bull flag, right? We rolled this up, we could be forming a larger bull flag. You already know that below we have some support. You can see 376.30. It's somewhere down in here, right? So I'm gonna expect we could possibly trade down here. We also have the v-wop sitting down here, so we're gonna just pay attention to this as it forms and see if there's some more weakness, maybe for a rip higher. So that would be something like this over here, right? If we end up getting that failure, we end up getting this failure here, so we're going to look lower to see where our buyers are at, right? We're looking for where demand is right now, and we knew some supply was above here, and we're going to look to see if there's any demand down below or if demand goes lower and lower. On the right-hand side of your screen, I don't know if you're looking at the right-hand side of your screen, but down here, you see this gray area and this white area. It says, this yellow area, it says, hey, I want to buy fucking SPY right here at 376.17. See that yellow line? Now, if you start to see white pop in down here, lower and lower, it's gonna try to lead the price even lower. So far right now, and we still have this supply above. It's good to see that this hasn't gone away, so we're gonna keep that above there, and you're gonna see this 376. See how it's popping lower to VWAP now? These are algorithms that will lead a price lower, believe it or not. You can actually see another one down here now, 374.75. Do we always get down to where those algos go? No, but they will drag the price down to where they want to actually buy. These are called stink bids sometimes. They're fake bids in the market, put in large orders, and they don't actually execute them, but it attracts the price lower to where they actually do want to buy for whatever algorithm that they have that says I can make money in this trade. Anyways, back to the story. So if you're a new trader, new investor, how do you make money? Bull, especially if you're a bull. There's an easy way to do that. Now, there are riskier ways to execute these trades, but the safest way is to place anywhere from 9 to 13 trades a year. I've gone through this before. 9 to 13 trades a year. Make them call spreads, debit call spreads specifically. And make sure it's on the SPY because it settles to cash. If you do it on a ticker, this is more complicated than it needs to be. Just do the SPY, trade the SPY. There's a bunch of reasons for this. Try not to do it around a dividend date. It closes to cash, so there's no issues with them with you getting really super uber fucked if your positions are closed early. So what I want to talk to you about is just how to build an account. You need to learn how to place a debit call spread. If you can't figure that out on your own, you have to call somebody, text somebody, tweet somebody, anybody. Find someone that can show you how to place one. If all else fails, you can go to a website called optionsai.com. I don't like executing trades there. I don't like trading there, but it's a basic, easy way for you to make that trade without, you just follow one of their videos and it'll show you how to place that trade. In a perfect world, I would recommend to you to, though, place your trades on Tasty. And I'm going to tell you why. This is how I found Tasty, believe it or not. So Tasty, you can make accounts. You can make fucking 30 accounts, 100 accounts under your social security number. And if you blow one up with day trades, you can dump or trade or move your money from one account to the next one. So if you're trading an under $25,000 account and you make 5 day trades, which I recommend that you do if you're going to lose. So the rules are based upon you losing all your money, believe it or not. You should never be trained to stay in bad positions. You should always exit those positions whenever you can. That's a whole nother conversation, whole nother fucking discussion that I should make a video about. But basically, if you want to build an account, start with call spreads. I'm going to bring something up right now. Start with call spreads. If you make, if you have $1,000, you can turn $1,000 into $1 million if you make 10 of these in a row. I know you guys don't believe me on this, but it is very true. Very easy to do. Easiest way to build an account. No-brainer way to build an account. Let me clear all this out here. Give me a second. I'm gonna do it on ES here. Well, we'll do the SPY. Make it simple, easy, and direct. Move drawings. Okay. So a little bit of weakness in the market right now. Thankfully, I got out. I want you to look at I want to look down here at 375.51. So we'll make this 375.51 right here at v-wop. And we're going to see if we continue to trade down to this 375, we get some support down here. Meanwhile, this is what we're going to do. If you're trying to build an account. So I recommend you go to Tasty because you can let's start with the rules. Like number fucking 1. All these rules are in place for you to actually lose money. They're implying that you should know your trade before you ever get into it. Your thesis, you should keep a journal and it should be successful, and if it's not, you're doing something wrong. That's not true. That's a fucking lie. You have to make sure you're positioned. Like rule number 1 is if you position yourself and you have like this theory of where you're going, this is a whole nother fucking video. I'm not going to do this one right now. I'm going to stay out of this conversation. The brief point I'm trying to make is if you get caught off sides, you only have a few options. Add to your position, cut it loose, or double down, right? Do I have that right? Cut it loose, double down, or just stay in your current position. That's number 3. Because sometimes your position can look untenable, and you would have gotten paid, believe it or not, or at least broken even. So that's a whole nother video. So you should actually be taught that as a new trader, new investor. And you're not, of course. You're also never taught as a new trader or new investor how to hedge properly for free. So that's another problem. So no matter if you're day trading, investing, or whatever, you can hedge positions for free. You can actually make money even in a hedge if the stock market goes up, believe it or not. Those are called ratio spreads, also known as putback spreads. Write that down on a piece of paper and look them up on your own. They're very simple and easy to do. If the market goes up, you'll actually break even or slightly make more money. Those are free trades. That's insurance, cost of doing business. Now, all that shit out of the way. You can apply this to what I'm going to tell you to like 0 dates and weeklies and monthlies as well. There's more risk, but if you want risk-free, how to grow an account, I'm going to show you quickly. It's very simple. It's fucking simple. This is the S&P 500. This is SPY. S&P 500 has been going down since January. It's terrible. You might say you can't be a bull in this market. You can't make money in this market. There's a lot of people in this room that are listening to me right now have already heard this fucking spiel. So I'm going to make this fast. Get yourself TradingView. Sign up for TradingView. Go back. Mark that it's 12:13 in the afternoon. Come back and watch this later. Look up market breadth indicator. It's by Iceman Rand. Put it on there. There's other indicators. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you can look at. But I could give a flying fuck about any of that. I'm going to get rid of this. Get rid of that right there. We're going to let this load up right now. Okay, it's going to take a minute because I'm live streaming right now. But it's going to take a minute for this to load up. I'm going to move this to the side as it loads up right now. I'll bring it back here in just a minute. And we're going to load this. We're going to load this up. And we're going to look at it over the past couple of years. Here we go. A little bit of a bounce right now in the SPY. Buyers stepping in. I think it's a false bounce. Personally, I'm not going to buy that. I want to buy this down below. I want to make sure this holds as well. Let me just a second here. I want to check the VIX. VIX is curling over. It looks like it's rolling a little bit. Could be a nice buy here. This might be a good place to buy. While this happens, while this squeeze takes place, I'm going to go over this real quick so I can get this out of the way for the new traders out there, new investors out there. Okay. So this is the market breadth indicator. I want you to see the red line up here and the green line down below. Now, I hate MACD and I hate v-wop is actually not a bad. v-wop actually works, believe it or not. People like to make fun of it. People like to make fun of breadth indicators. This is a breadth indicator of the entire S&P 500. It actually shows when it shows individual sectors and when they have been completely sold. you can see down here, right, where my chart line, where my pointer lines up here, right, that the market sold off and it was at rock bottom, right? You could safely buy a call spread that pays 100% down here with enough time on it that it would print at some point. And you can see that, yes, in fact, you would have printed a call spread here. Now, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does. You'll see this nice little pump here. You see a nice little pump right here. Let me see if I can change this to a cross so you can see actually where this happens. You can see there's a nice pump down below here. Every time you get down here, but the key ones are when it's really bad. When you see really bad stuff, you know that eventually it's going to come back. Every time. Now, the only times you would have lost this trade ever, this isn't a bear market, and you can still make money this way. This is a bull market, and you can see how often we still had bottoms down here, right? We had one right here. If you put enough time on it, it's going to print. So that would mean if you're going to buy a call spread, it should be 1 to 3 months out. Right? Anywhere down in here. You see one right here. See one right here. Matter of fact, let's go back to March 2020. You actually had, if you hadn't known any about this stuff down here, had you bought this one, you still would have printed your call spread. Okay, and if you're disciplined enough where you close it out and you don't go back in and you wait, even if we go up, so watch my hand down here, even if we go up, you don't enter again, you just wait for the next fall down. So if it fails like it did here, you would still be successful. With enough time, you would have captured this. Now, meanwhile, all these other jokers out there are like, well, you missed all this here and you missed all this here. The reality is, if you're a disciplined investor and disciplined trader, you would consistently make 9 out of 10 trades making this trade. Now, if you want to make it 10 out of 10 trades because you're building an account, you need to go in 100% of the time with 100% of your money. This is not financial advice. And you need to stick to your fucking rules. I say this, and nobody ever does. Every time we come to one of these bottoms, people say to me, well, Cap, I just want to buy 0 dates or I want to buy weeklies or whatever. That's fine. But I'm saying if you're a disciplined investor that needs to make consistent money every time we're down here, this is still to this day how I make enough money to day trade, is by these trades. Every time we're down here, no matter when it was, down here again, down here again. They usually present themselves 9 to 13 times a year. Have another one down in here, right? Have another one down in here, right here. We got it, right? Another tag down below. The low was 270. The high was 280. If you had put enough time on it, it didn't print for you, you still would have got it up here, right? You would have at least been able to unfuck yourself at some point and save your trade. You see, maybe you're getting my point at least, right? You pull an in the money call. If we're down here, let's say at 270, you get the 270, 280, and you continue on. There are sometimes you can lose these trades. They're not 100% of the time, but generally speaking, with enough time on them, they do tend to print. So if you're like, I want to build an account cap, I've only got 10 grand. A nice account is probably 100, like a working account is anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000, somewhere in there. No, you don't need $1 million fucking dollars. You just need to build that account to about $100,000 to $300,000, somewhere in there. I'm going to stress this again. If you, let's say you make all this money, you turn 10 grand or 30 grand into $100,000 to $300,000, or even $25,000, $10,000. Let's say you make 8 great trades, 7 great trades, and you're at $500,000. Don't fucking trade that money. Only trade that $100,000 to $300,000, right? Take the rest of that fucking money and buy something that only fucking goes up. I don't care if it's buying a low on the S&P 500. I don't care if it's buying a house. Better yet, buy some commercial property. Buy something that fucking goes up in value. Don't go buying fucking trucks that fucking for 120 grand. Don't go do that shit. that depreciate over time. And you use something like this. And this over time, you could shut Twitter off, shut fucking Wall Street bets off, shut stank twits, or not, whatever they're called, stock twits. Is that them? Yeah. Turn off Bloomberg, turn off CNBC, and just be patient and check in on this chart right here. And this is going to pay every time. Every single fucking time. You can just buy some calls that are a month out in the money, and they're going to print every single time. I don't fucking care. The fucking stock market shits the bed 300 points in one fucking day. Because you're just waiting for this low signal. See this green area down here that shows green? See that green down there? Buy yourself some call spreads. Let them run until they print. Close them out. Don't talk about them. Keep them in a separate account. And that's all you do. It's that fucking simple. It really is that fucking simple. And that's why when I own stock, when I do spreads, and when I day trade, those are all separate accounts. Keep all that shit separate. Don't keep them in the same fucking place. Don't fucking trade in that same account. And the reason I say that to you is because it's hard to have discipline when you're looking at it every day. It's better to have like a chart on TradingView or Webull. I'm going to show you. I don't know if you got some of you new traders probably don't know this, but you can go like right into Webull here. See this line right here in the VIX? I can right click on it. I can create an alert. Okay? I haven't signed in. This isn't I have a signed in Webull somewhere on another computer over here, but you can just set an alert. You can literally set an alert for when to sell your spreads so that you don't have to watch the stock market. Trading up now, heading higher, 378.39. Nice little push up higher here. VIX is starting to head higher as well. We're looking for 381 and then 382.24 above. So we've got 381. We're going to move this higher. 381. Nice and big. That's huge. Let's check this one more time. 379.42. Huge moves in the SPY. Right here. Huge moves in the SPY. Move this one up here. That larger target. So I have an account in front of me right now, right? This is my day trading account. This is all I fucking do in this account is day trade. I don't fuck around with anything else in this account. My spreads that I buy, I don't fucking look at them. I don't look at them. I don't fuck with them. Another thing you need to know about spreads, if they don't start printing right away, that you usually hold them right to the end, to the bitter fucking end. That's put and call spreads. You can see it today with JPM. They hold their spreads right to the bitter fucking end. You ever notice in the market during OPEXs, we trade to a number and we kind of like stay there? That pin in the market, that pin is because of the spreads that are out there by larger banks out there. So anyways, the point I'm trying to make behind all this bullshit that I'm talking to you about is if you want to build an account, you got to learn how to trade spreads. Have to. It's going to be the fastest way you can build an account. It's faster than any kind of stock buying will build an account for you. It's safer than any kind of just naked options or calls, naked puts or calls. Naked calls or just owning calls. The best thing for you to do is buy some spreads on a breadth indicator saying if the market is just overextended on the downside. It's going to be bought by banks, going to be bought by algorithms, no matter what. And if you put enough time on those spreads, they're going to print. They're going to fucking print. Now, if you can't find a spread that's going to pay you 100% in a month or 3 months, you have to decide for yourself what risk you take. Not financial advice. If you want to just buy in the money calls that are 1 month out, or 3 weeks out, or 2 weeks out, or you're just going to buy 0 dates or some shit like that. Not financial advice. But if you do that, you're going to make consistent money in this market no matter what anybody tells you. It doesn't matter if it's a bull market or a bear market. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. Trading up higher now at 378.66. Looking for 379.44, 380.92, and 382.15. Just pushing it higher now. Breaking through some of them sellers. Sellers are weak right now in the market. 380C is now up to $2.32 currently. Squeezing it higher and higher and higher and higher. We got a tag above here, 380.37, 381.16. I always miss these fucking trades when I go off on a tangent trying to do a mini class in the middle of a fucking session. I'm kind of pissed right now. Kind of pissed that I missed that trade. 380C is up to 245. Beautiful trade right there. So that's the thing. If you're trying to build an account, spreads, market breadth indicator, set them, forget them. I don't know how much money you should do on those trades. But if you're trying to build an account, if you got like $1,000, let's say if you're like, let's say you have a job. This is terrible. I shouldn't be saying this stuff. This is like definitely not financial advice. Beautiful trade right now on the SPY, heading higher at 379.61, 379.71. Cranking on the SPY right now, just blasting away at the ceiling. Price target above 382.22, way up here. Let's see if we can push it even higher. Fuck, I can't believe I'm not in this trade. Fucking pissed. Beautiful call structure coming in the options chain right now. This is hilarious. Gorgeous. 380 C's now up to $2.85. Blasting away. Crushing it. Crushing it right now. A little bit of supply coming in above at 381.14. A little bit of supply up in here. We'll extend this a little bit higher. 381.14 right in here. So anyways, I came in blasting, but instead I got took away to talk about fucking how to build an account. So that's how you do it. This is what the one last thing I want to say to you is, if you're a guy out there and let's say you get a job, you're working, say you make $500 a week or $1,000 a week, you got nothing to lose doing that trade. Believe it or not, you just go to your job, get your $1,000, right, and you just bank that $1,000 every single week until you see that market breadth indicator go down. And when you do, buy yourself some fucking call spreads with like a month on them. Close your fucking laptop. Close your fucking phone. I'm being figurative here. And take that trade. And don't listen to anybody. That's the hardest part of the trade. Don't listen to the doom and gloom. Don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to CNBC. Don't listen to Mike fucking whatever his name is from fucking don't listen to fucking Dalai Lama. Don't listen to fucking anybody. Just place that trade, let it ride. When you double that money, because you started out with $500,000, it's all fucking funny money anyways. And I think in like 5 or 8 trades, you can make at least a couple $100,000. The moment you do something like that, be more conservative. Don't be going 100% all in, all in, all in, all in, all in every time, because you are going to lose one. You're more than likely going to, doing that specific trade, on average, you're going to lose, on average, you'll lose 1 of 10 trades. If you time it wrong, if you don't put enough time on it, if you time it wrong, don't put enough time on it. If you don't know how to learn how to identify an actual bottom, that can impact your wins. And you don't have to hold it for 100%. If you just hold it for like 50%, and if you start making enough bank, you only need to hold them for 30%, 10%. And then if you start making big bank, come back to me and I'll tell you what to do next, because your next step is to buy, like right now, you should be buying the SPY, physical SPY right now. And you sell calls and puts. When you start to make enough money, you really want to own the SPY really cheap. You can fuck around with Tesla, you can fuck around with Apple, whatever you want to do, but the real truth of the matter is you want to own the SPY on lows, deep lows like 360, 320, 260. You want to own the SPY. And then you want to sell puts and calls with lots of money. Like if you have $1 to $5 million and you just start selling calls and puts, you're going to make some nice fat bank, better than any dividend out there. And that's how you make money after you're done making a lot of money. See, like stages as an investor and as a trader, how you actually make money in this market. Don't fucking believe that bears make all the money in this market. It's crock of fucking shit. And you guys out there that think, I want to tell you guys something. I want to show you guys something right here. Hold on here. It's a beautiful fucking trade, man. That pissed me off. I want to tell you for fucking shit sure, right? There was nobody that had puts right here. Well, I had puts right here. I had puts right here, believe it or not. And then I got out of them, of course. I always miss these like by an extra day. Right at this close, I bought some puts. I even posted about it on Twitter. And it went down for a brief moment. And the last drop, same thing happened. Day later, though, we dropped. But you think that bears can pull this shit? I mean, they get in here. You know, they get some puts in here. But if you think that like bears had puts right fucking here, they're fucking lying to you. They're not traders. They're not investors. They're lying. I'm telling you, they're fucking liars. Or they're just losing they're losing all their money. So you never like somebody's always like it's gonna roll, it's gonna burn, it's gonna burn, it's gonna burn. They tell you every day it's gonna burn. They're just as bad as bulls that say it's going up every day. They're the same fucking character. So my point to you is though, as a bull, if you are a bull, that's how you make money consistently in this market. You can build an account that way easily. It's probably the least risky way to build an account as well. Even some people tell you that the least risky way is by buying stock. That's a fucking lie. That's another fucking lie. Huge lie. Like a whole bunch of stuff they tell you about the like financial advisors and schooling and books and all this shit. You have people on fucking Twitter telling you like you got like baseline. You read any book, they're gonna tell you the safest bet is to buy up stock because it's rare that it's ever gonna go bankrupt and lose all its money. Look at that beautiful fucking trade in the SPY. 380.29. 380C is now in the money at $3.02. So the next target above is 383, 382. Those calls on July 1st are trading for 210 on 382, and 383 is now trading at $1.70. I still have no interest in those zero dates for today. I should, but I don't. If you guys are trading zero dates, good luck to you. For me personally, I'm not doing it today. This whole week I have been on weeklies and Friday calls. Beautiful trade higher. We do see above. We're looking at some supply above here at 382.18. So we'll actually get rid of this box here. So we can get rid of this box. And we're going to bring this up to 382.18. This should be the extension right up in here. Hold on here. And then this above here is 382.97. That's up here. So we'll snap a line up here. We're going to raise this line up. 383. Where are we at? 383 flat. And we're going to raise this up here. And we're going to raise this up right here for you. And keep an eye on I'll leave this one right here. Move this up as we go. My little squiggly line. And I'll buy this dip if I get it. If I get a chance to buy in here, I will. So anyone out there that tells you to buy stock is lying too. You can buy a fucking stock, right? Like $10. Let's say buy BBB? Bed Bath and Beyond is a good example. But you could buy a stock. Let's say if you track stocks, you can go back. They say like the meme stock started a few years ago. That's a lie. Meme stock started fucking 10 years ago. But you can check stocks from 20 years ago that have never come back. You can actually trade penny stocks, like not real true penny stocks, but like $1 to $3 stocks that fucking haven't had their time for 20 years. So you could buy a stock right now that's a meme stock or a pumping stock, and it never fucking comes back. You'll sit on that shit for decades. There was a marijuana stock pump, I want to say 5 years ago, and there was a new marijuana pump that just came up the past couple of years. But if you had done the original marijuana pump, you were fucking sitting with your thumb up your ass for 5 fucking years doing nothing. So that tells you like the least risky is buying stock. That's a fucking lie. And then you can buy the wrong place on a stock. That's a whole nother conversation. So if you want to build an account in this market, the safest way, call spreads, market breadth indicator on weakness in the market. That is the way. And not only that, that is the way for you to always stay in this market, regardless of anything that happens in this market, no matter what. World War fucking 3. If you use that trading plan, you will have consistent profit for the rest of your days in this market. I fucking guarantee that part. Not financial advice, Captain Jim James. Like, subscribe to these videos. consider donating to this channel. And find me on Twitter, CaptainJimJames. You can also follow me at CaptainZalpha, where oftentimes on Twitter people will get one side of the story, but they don't know that I'm posting elsewhere as well. They get an incomplete story on CaptainJimJames. So follow me at CaptainZalpha so that you can follow the full trading journey that I take with you guys, so that you guys have context for where we are, context of where we're going, and context of my public posts versus my private posts. So at CaptainZalpha, CaptainJimJames on Twitter as well. I'll see if I form a base right here and see if we can trade this up higher. Take a little bit closer look and see what's holding us up here. We've got 378.79. So we'll move that 378.79. It's right in here. Right there. So we'll see if this holds, consolidates for another push higher, or if we break here. How far do we go? Right now we're kind of free floating. I'll take a look around and see if we're going to crash it right now. Not crash it, but dump it. It's 12:36 in the afternoon. It's time for cocaine lunch for Wall Street in New York. A little bit of rejection here. I'm going to take a minute to just show you the rejection that's taking place. I want you to see this rejection here on XLK. Broke through, closed the gap, now starting to head back lower. Look for some support down below here. 127. XLF touched it, right? Pin strike just above. This is a way. So we're talking today about how to look for a price target above, how to check around the market to see where a target would be above. You see this target, we struck it above. You're going to then add in some trend lines here and see if it can maintain trend for a move higher into this close, or if we break trend, your next stop would naturally be v-wop down below here, right? Just keep an eye on the market as you trade it. And we'll see if this holds here. I'm already looking at XLK, and it has some room to go down here. There's some room that we can trade below here. My assumption would be that we're going to close this gap. Watch my cursor right here. Watch my cursor. It's going to go down, and we're going to try to close this right here. Okay, so we're going to attempt to close this. XLK will attempt to close this gap down below, and we're going to see if we can pick up some more calls. I missed the last trade, so I'm going to try to get in this trade if I can. And see if we can buy a dip here. Oh, Steven wants it back to v-wop? You might not get that, Steven. I don't think you're getting that today. I think so. Just a heads up, I'm going to show you guys this once more, okay? So do you see this chart right here? We'll follow my eraser over here. On the left-hand side, I want you to see these puts, okay? These puts are expiring today, 6/30/2022. When these puts expire, this is the most basic thing you can think about, okay? As these puts expire, we should go up due to dealers no longer having to hedge those puts. Now, it's not huge. You're not going to see a Vanna rally for 3 days with Vanna and Charm, but you are going to see, not always, but theoretically, you're going to see a pump into the close as in this move right here, just as a heads up. See this move right here? This is not bulls. This is just dealers that are helping out. Dealers and calls coming in by banks are helping out with, I guess you could call it Vanna and some Charm. But the Charm is just quarterly rebalancing. And then you've also got the expiry of calls into the end of today where dealers no longer have to hedge. So price target above still 383. See if we can make one more pump up there. If we don't make this pump now, it might get saved for end of day. So just let's take a look at end of day. Let's just show where we are in relevance. You might see, let me see here if I can do this real quick. Give me a second here. So, oh, no trend line. I don't want no goddamn trend line. You could see something like this. You could end up seeing a failure in here, right? And then we end up coming down, consolidating lower. Not exactly this, right? But then you could see that run up into 383 at the bell over here, okay? Not always, but this is common. I just want you to know that as the day wears on, you'll see a consolidation, some failure, right? Distribution, and then you'll see that last little bit of the day kick in. Do I think this is going to happen today? I don't know. Nobody knows. Sometimes we just go straight up to the end of the day. But as the day wears on, the morning trade is over. Everyone's made money. You might see this failure take place. And then you might not see us hit this price target here until end of day. Okay, so we'll extend this. Oh, hold on here. We're going to extend this all the way over to the end of the day right here, okay? And we're going to look down below here. See if I can get this. We're going to extend this here. See this v-wop come in right here. And we'll extend this down below. Heading into the close. That's good enough. I think that's good enough. I'll make that really small. I don't like that giant fucking. We'll turn this green. That's your buy. Does that help you guys out there? Hope it does. 383 is above here. That's 382. Actually, extend this up higher. Oh, no. Hold on. Extend that up there to 383. And there we go. VIX still selling off. If we can break through, I want to show you the VIX real quick. The VIX starting to break through support down here. But it is also, the VIX is also on that crossover from the other day. Put it back in the 3 minutes so you can see, remember this crossover we had? You can see it trading down. These are some points of concern here. We want to see this continuation down, though, into, I really want to see that down at 26 into the end. That'd be really beautiful. And we're going to see it this cross here and see what happens in the market. This is your price target above. There you go. We're right there. Price target end of the day, I guess you call it. You guys want something more specific? End of the day right there. If you're looking at my cursor right now, you can see that there's no resistance, right? AKA supply. There's a little bit of supply right here, 380.98. So I'll snap some lines for you guys there if you really want me to. I will. Hold on, I'll put some lines there for you. So we've got 380. What is this one? 381.06. So right. Oh, wait a minute. 381.06 is one. Your next one is 382.21. You guys can do this at home. You can just look at this stuff and figure it out at home. 380. What is that? What was that last one? 382.20. Right there's another one. And every time, so I want to show you. Let me get rid of this bullshit. Okay, so see this. Whenever we're trending up, right? Whenever we're trending up here, right? Every time we make a leg up, I'll put one of these up here. So we'll start one right here, right? You saw some consolidation. We're looking for this consolidation. You can make this small to start out, but you're looking for this trend consolidation to consolidate until we find some support, right? And then a move higher to these higher prices up here, right? We're looking to get up into this price target area above. We're also looking for supply to step in. We saw it step in earlier. I'm going to look above here. I'm not seeing much supply here. What is that showing you? Showing you that all supply is up here. It's showing you that this is probably the ceiling for today. Not guaranteed, but right now, this is looking like the ceiling above. I'm going to buy another rack of 25 of these. I'm going to buy some 383s here. I'm switching out. I'm going to switch into 383s now. Send the order. Does this help you guys out there? I don't know if this helps you guys. Yeah, expecting the market to frustrate traders until final. I agree with that. Usually on a trend day, it ends right around now, and like right around like 12:30 to 2:30 is when they trap buyers, and we'll trade sideways, consolidate, and then you'll get that run up into the bell. It'll be something just like this. Oof, watch my cursor. Okay. Not always. Sometimes we'll fucking blast off in the middle of the day. But if we're in trend day, it's 7 out of 10 trend days. It's end of the day. 3 out of 10 trend days. Out of 10 trend days, let's say it's 6 out of 10 trend days. Right now, we start trading sideways. 2 out of the 10 will go balls to the walls early, like right now to 2 to 3 p.m. 2 of the 10 will go balls to the walls and then sell the whole fucking thing right off. Something like that. Catching a little bit of a bounce here on the VIX again. Lot of open air above here. I'll keep my cursor here. That's 381.09. That's right here. So I'm gonna look for a retest of that once more. See if we can get up there. If not, I'm gonna put some stops on my calls here. Hang tight. So get some stops on calls. See what you guys are doing over here. It helps. Right on. Yeah, this should help you guys make money consistently. We made money yesterday. We made some serious money yesterday too. And yesterday was a sideways day. So you can make money consistently trading the SPY. Much more consistently than anywhere else. Or especially right now. Nope, I just got stopped out. So I'm out once again. Kind of just floating around out here in space. Middle of the day doldrums. You got some people betting that we're gonna roll. See these puts right here? It's just some middle of the day doldrums. It is OPEC, or it's not OPEC. It's end of quarter rebalancing. So you can't really trust either way. Let's take a look at Tesla. See Tesla bouncing off that 680 over here, 684, 685. We talked about this being major resistance earlier this morning. I would expect some consolidation here. It's not unreasonable to be expecting some consolidation here. I do want you to see that we're floating around in space right here. I want you to see this, okay? There's not much holding up the market right now. This shows that there's no bid in the market. This shows overall that this is all short covering, so be aware of that. Price target above, if we can get there on the SPY today, or Tesla end of day, is 700, believe it or not. It could possibly be 693-ish, 692, maybe for end of day. Might not get all the way up to 700. But it is rebalancing day. So I do want you to be wary, though, that we can roll this over at any time. Tesla's telling you that. I never did look at Apple. I apologize to your wife's boyfriend. I apologize, my brother. It's got some room to grow, baby. Look at that. Apple's got some room to move. Free space to 150. I don't think we're getting there. 144, 147, 149. What does that tell you? It tells you that you could probably reasonably buy 125 and 130 as long as the market conditions allow for it. There are sellers, lots of supply though. This is what I want you to see. Major supply here on Apple. So this is big distribution here. Looking to sell, just sell Apple. This might take till September, believe it or not, or August for all the money that's in Apple. Like one of the last holdouts. Let me see if I can send that back there. Keep our eye on v-wop down below here on the SPY. Area of interest is at 37823. 37823. So we'll lower this down a little bit. 37823. Right there is this is an area. Watch my cursor. That's an area of interest down below. To the creepy crawly all the way down. And I'm not in any trades right now. I'm going to take a quick break. Actually, it is lunch. It's 12:51. I'm going to leave this up for you. I'll put our news guy in the background on again for you, so that you can hear somebody talking. I will be back at 1. It's 12:51. I'll be back at 1:15. So it's 12:51. There's 9 minutes left to the hour. 8 minutes left to the hour. So I'll be back at 1:15 p.m. I'll leave this broadcast on for you so that you can track. You can watch your options flow down here. I've got the news stream on in the background, so you can listen to any news that might break, any kind of breaking news. You've got Bookmap on. You do want to be tracking this right here into the close. If you want to know my expectation to what's going to happen, if you want to know my expectation is to just keep watching this down below, this options flow. If you see any big chunky calls coming in, because it's end of quarter rebalancing, it's going to help the stock or the SPY to go up. On your own, watch the VIX for more collapsing of the VIX. We could trade up right from here right now. I need to take a quick break. I've been running around since like 4 a.m. I don't know if you believe that, but I go to bed early and I wake up early in the morning. I have to do my research and I have to keep my wife happy and keep the kids happy and keep the frickin' dogs happy. And then I come on here and live stream for you guys. I do want you guys to know that I'm going to try to live stream more often than I have been. So you'll have me here tomorrow. I'll be live streaming tomorrow for last day of the market. I don't know if I'll be here on the 5th. I may not be, or it might be like a half day. If I'm not here on the 5th, I'll make a long post on @CaptainsAlpha for a trade that week. I'll do something for the 5th if I'm not here, because I'm supposed to be on vacation still until the 6th. I was supposed to be gone tomorrow, but my wife fucked up a bunch. Oh, my wife didn't. My wife doesn't fuck up. I'm sorry. Well, how do you say that nicely? You can't say your wife fucked up because wives don't make mistakes. They kept me around. She kept me around, so she's doing pretty well. I shouldn't say that either. We got this above 381. It's right here. Yeah, 381.07. These lines are all good. These are all good to go. These are all good to go right here. So we're supposed to leave today. We haven't left today. Then she tried to like tell me you're like, I don't know how many of you are married out there, but I am as a husband I'm expected to admit when I'm wrong and pay the punishment. Wives never say they're wrong. And don't ever try to get your wife to admit she's wrong. Always just be like, don't ever ask your wife to explain shit to you. Because they're just going to they're like master storytellers, master liars and manipulators. So all you do is just say, yes, dear. It's a perfect response. Or, how can I help, dear? That helps a lot. Or
ECB's Holzman said, I'd have preferred earlier hikes.
I'm telling you, this, you guys live a happy life. Yes, dear. Just do shit for her. Agree with her. fucking whatever it takes. Just keep her happy. Keep her happy, okay? Uh, you'll be a happier man in life, I promise. And especially if she has to deal with you. Can you imagine having to sleep with your ass every night? I was looking at Tom Cruise. This is a fucked up story. I was looking at Tom Cruise. My wife had on Mission Impossible last night, and I was like, Tom Cruise, man, he's a good-looking guy, and he's not a good-looking guy. I wouldn't want to sleep with that guy at nighttime. So I'm like, if somebody wants to sleep with you for the next 20 years or something, just say yes. Just be easy. Every once in a while, if you're like really, really sticky about something, you're like, I'm a stickler on this, then it has some meaning. So like if that one time you're like, fuck no, we ain't doing this, and you actually say something, it actually takes some meaning. They listen to you. You can say, look, we're not doing this right now. If you only say that like once every fucking
ECB's Holzman says reaching the
6
CPI
months.
goal will take some time.
Every 3 months or so, every month, every year, every 5 years. If you're not constantly fucking bitching and moaning, and you just put your foot down and say, put my foot down in this, they'll usually listen to you. They usually be like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't need to win that one fight. Don't try winning fights with your wives. Just don't do it. It's not worth it.
This stream is sponsored
be
by
easy.
TickStrike. TickStrike allows
Pick your
you to
battles.
actually hear order flow in futures, forex, and stock instruments. Get a free trial at
So
tickstrike.com.
true. I'm telling you, it's so true. And that leads to the last part. Make sure you get along with your wife. Make sure you're her friend first and foremost. You guys love each other like that, like a friend. Like I could hang out with this person because you can't do that shit, man. You're not going to ever be able to give up fighting. You're just be fighting forever. No reason to be fighting with people. Okay, so I'll be back. Now it's 1 o'clock. I'll be back at 1:15. I'm just gonna piss. What day is today? Today is Thursday. You guys want to drink a bourbon today? I haven't had a bourbon in like a week. It's almost vacation time. You guys want to have a drink heading into the end of the day? I'm gonna pour a Manhattan with some cherries and some bitters and some sweet vermouth. And I think we used all our lemons or we used all our fruit for this vacation or something like that. So my daughter made lemon cream pie or something. So maybe I'll do like a orange or something. Maybe I don't know what kind of fruits we have right now. My kids are monsters. They eat all the fruit in the house. We can never have enough fruit in the house. So I'll pour a whiskey, a bourbon. We'll meet back here for the trade into the end of the day. I'll have a little toast. Be careful here. See, the Amazon puts coming in right now, so that might lend some weakness to the market. Just as rebalancing, just heads up on these Amazon puts coming in. I'll be back here with you at 1:15, and we'll trade the end of the day today. Oh yeah, we roast each other. We roast the shit out of each other. That's Andrea's saying something about roasting each other. So first off, we can dig each other, like make digs on each other without anybody knowing, like just little tiny slights. And then sometimes we have kids, so we'll do like skits, like improv skits on roasting each other. And even the kids get involved in it. They'd be like, "This is Daddy, this is Mommy," or I'll be like, "Oh, this is how Aaron." Well, I shouldn't say my wife's name publicly, but this is how Aaron does things, or this is how Jim does things, or that kind of stuff. We have a lot of fun with that. So, anyways, have a.
So we have
a
just
great
posted
15
out
minutes.
ECB Holzman's interview on the top of the Financials feed if you do want to have a read.
Be careful of the VIX here. Watch the VIX, and I'll be right back. 15 minutes. Do.
So according to the Fed, the US non-seasonally adjusted foreign financial commercial paper outstanding rises to 3.5 billion in June 29th week. The US non-seasonally adjusted commercial paper outstanding falls $9.8 billion in June 29th week. And the US seasonally adjusted commercial paper outstanding rise 26 billion in June 29th week. So UAE's ADNOC revises the July Murban crude OSP at $109.68 a barrel. So New York State denies permit for Greenidge Bitcoin Mines power plant. So that's the New York State. They're denying a permit for Greenidge's Bitcoin Mines power plant. UK's PM Johnson says we cannot ignore that China has been failing to comply with its obligations in Hong Kong. UK's PM Johnson says we intend to keep doing all we can to hold China to its commitments on Hong Kong.
All right, I'm back. Looks like I took my break at the right time. looks like I did just fine in my break. Coincidentally, take a break and the market's falling. I think that's hilarious. All right. Yeah, how's that?
108 counterparties take 2.330 trillion at the Fed reverse repo operation. So that's 108 counterparties taking $2.330 trillion at the Fed reverse repo operation.
How was that? That squeeze while I was gone. Oh, too funny. Coincidence, right? I just I went to go make a so first off so I went to go make a bourbon.
This stream is sponsored by TickStrike. TickStrike allows you to actually hear order flow in futures, forex, and stock instruments. Get a free trial at tickstrike.com.
So I went and took a break, and I made it myself. Oh, by the way, I made a Manhattan. So if I, yeah, is it a causation? Heck yes. So happy 4th of July to happy Juneteenth to anybody out there. I think we said that before. Happy 4th of July to any of you out there that are Americans. Anyone that wants to be an American. This is the civilian holiday we got coming up, right?
So the Fed repo reverse facility usage there hits a fresh record at $2.33 trillion.
So you got Memorial Day, you got Veterans Day, you got Labor Day for workers. Everybody's got their day, and this is the one for the United States of America. I know it's got some bad connotations right now, but that's okay. Putting all that stuff aside, this is your holiday. This is my holiday. If you're a civilian out there or have never been a soldier or whatever, you're just American, you guys know that what 4th of July is all about. I'm not going to get into the politics and all that kind of stuff, but this holiday is for you. So cheers to you if you're an American. Cheers to you if you want to be an American. Cheers to you if you're not an American. And hope that Americans can be better people so we can help you out there. Or, you know what I mean? And if you're, somebody else does better than Americans, hopefully we can be more like you in the future. Cheers to all you people out there too. I know some people listen from other countries. So cheers to everybody out there, whether you're American or not. So yeah, big old 4th of July coming up this weekend. So cheers to all of you out there, okay? America. Yeah, cheers to you if you're a soldier. Cheers to all of you from other countries. This is so we're gonna be celebrating our Independence Day. So it's a big thing, right? We don't always live up to being the best country we can be, but we definitely try to be. Believe it or not. I know we suck sometimes at it, but the good thing
is... we are seeing here that Ukraine receives €446.8 million loan from the World Bank, with $424.6 million guaranteed by the UK.
There's a lot of time ahead. Cheers to anybody out there that ever helped us achieve our independence. Cheers to anyone from Great Britain and England, of course. I know that can be contentious too, but cheers to France as well, and any other nation that ever helped us gain our freedom. That's important too. It's kind of always, sometimes I think back to 4th of July, I think about we gained our independence from England, from the UK, but then we became the greatest ally in World War II. That's a big one. So showed our friendship to them. It's an important one. So what do we got here? We're sitting here on some light support. Cheers to all of you out there if you're listening right now. Let's talk. What do you guys are asking questions over here? Yeah, cheers to Canadians out there, of course. Another great ally. Mexico, believe it or not, is a great ally. Uppity Butler, Sir Alfred Jeeves, Money Stone volume bit loud. Okay, we turn it back down again. I reset it, so I didn't know if it. I didn't know if it. Hold on here. Yeah, it might reset the volume as well. I do love that name, by the way. Keep using it. Whoever wrote that. Who wrote that about Mr. Moneystone or whatever? Short cheers, Puerto Ricans. Cheers to all of you out there. If you guys all have if you're not from the United States, you have your own Independence Day. Cheers to you for whatever your Independence Day is. And I get a nice little bounce over here. You can see that nice little level of support. We mapped this out earlier. I want you to pay attention to this bar that I have right here. See this one right here that I'm highlighting? I want you to look at this bar here because it can turn into a point of resistance here, right? You'd see if you can't reclaim this trend, you would see further downside. Doesn't mean we don't reverse here or that we don't reject here, but bear's gonna be watching this to see if it rejects or not, to see if we have further downside ahead. I don't think that we do. We've got 381 above us here. Still that same target above. If you watch my cursor here, VIX is starting to rise now along with the SPY. So what? Looking at some contango. Hey, buddy. And hey, Henry. Hey, good boy. Come here, buddy. And VIX is looking to close that gap. So we're going to see what happens here. A little bit of contango in the VIX. VIX trying to close that gap above. Hey, handsome. You're a good boy. So cheers to you out there, no matter where you're from. If you are someone that's angry at the United States right now, the only thing I can say to you, I don't care where you are on any issues or politics and stuff like that, try to use the 4th of July to just be a better person, so you can be a better American however you can, rather than always pointing fingers and bitching. I see a lot of that on both sides of politics. A lot of, fuck this guy and fuck that guy or whatever. Just be a better human, be a better American, be an example for other people. Be kind to your neighbors, be kind to your fellow Americans. Try to see where people are at in their lives. Try to empathize with people. Empathy goes a long way in this country. Try to be an example for other people. Try to live a good life. That's important. People we often miss that. Sometimes we go down the social media rabbit hole, and we think we read things that are inflammatory. No matter where you are on a subject or an issue, make sure you always vote for whatever you believe in. Make sure that you're a good citizen. You'd be surprised if you fill your life up with that kind of stuff. That helps you to be sane, right? Keep your sanity. Keep yourself happy. Oftentimes, a lot of the news that you see, a lot of things that you read, a lot of the things that happen can make you want to rage. I can understand that. I can understand that from both perspectives. But, it's a good time. 4th of July sometimes is a big party, right? But oftentimes we forget why we declared our independence. We forget what makes us special and as who we should be, right, as people, and what we strive towards as Americans. Very important. Think about that as the 4th rolls around, rather than pointing fingers and saying, yeah, that guy sucks, or this guy sucks, or I don't like that guy, or whatever these people think. Focusing that energy on the inside and saying, how do I become a better person? How do I become a better example? How do I give of myself? Goes a long way in life, believe it or not. A long, 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 long way. Okay, so we're finding some decent support here at the moment. This is more bullish than bearish at the moment, just as a heads up. You can see You can see that we reclaimed this support once again. I still think, though, I could be wrong on this. You look above here, you can see that the supply has disappeared. A lot of that supply has been used down below. That's bullish overall. But I would think that we're still going to grind. It's 1:25 in the afternoon. Can we go higher? Sure. We've got lots of calls coming in, or some calls coming in right now. Still light trading right now. This is often a time in the day where you can get trapped, or you can trade this, but I wouldn't expect big moves. So my point to you is that this would be like a trading zone. So if you were going to have, I should get rid of this right here for right now. So I want to dump that for the moment, okay? I want to show you guys something. So just remember or think to yourself, we know that this is where you buy, right? But think about this top area up here as kind of a localized top into the end of the day. Not necessarily going to happen, but on trend days, on any day like today, I'd put this is how I would do it. You don't have to do it like this. This is how I would do it. And I would just put a nice little bull flag in here, right? We reclaimed this. This is bullish, by the way. But at the same time, I'm going to look for some consolidation still in here. I'm going to extend this into the rest of the day. And I'm going to look for, where does this take? Where does this lead us? Do we break out of this later on or not? And I'm going to I'm expecting some kind of consolidation in here for our next leg up, even though this is bullish. So that's what I'm going to be looking for into end of day. Now, even while I'm looking at this, the VIX is consolidating as well, where we can have some continued failure down. So we're not out of the woods if you're a bull trying to catch this. You can trade stuff like this. I just would say to you, if you trade stuff like this, that you aren't expecting, if you follow my cursor here, you're not expecting a move from here straight to here right now. It might happen, but the logic says that you're going to be trading within a defined area until we get closer to the end of the day. You might even see some down moves even below this 375. But ultimately, you should see a move higher into this close today. The price target above is going to be 383. We can make that move right now. We can make that move later. I don't know. But if you take this trade, I would be let's say you took this trade, I'd be looking for some kind of a roll at some point up in here. You can see right here, this is 380.96. And that's right up here, right? So can we make this trade from here to here? Yes, we can. But from experience, it says that we're gonna consolidate a little bit more in here. We could even. I wish I had like a little. Hold on a second. See if I can do a little finagling here. Just from experience, I would think that we're going to, even if we were to trade up here, you would still get some. You would then get more consolidation here, stuff like this. If we didn't trade here, it wouldn't shock me to see something like even this. Wouldn't shock me, like that kind of stuff, right? We just doing this kind of stuff. Any of this kind of stuff makes sense to me still. So just be conscious of what you're doing in here. It'll be something like this. Hey, buddy, I want to pet you too, handsome boy. Could be something like this where we head up that way. Just be conscious of this area right here is going to take some time. Another thing to consider when you're in here is, if you follow my cursor, there are some trapped buyers up in here. I don't know who's trapped up here, but there's some trapped buyers. Trapped buyers here, trapped buyers here. So if you look at my cursor here, I'll try to put something in there. So if you so this line right here, right? They're going to try to pin you here, right? So that these buyers are all trapped and they're like, "Oh, please, Lord, just let it go up higher." And I swear I'll just sell out of my calls. So you might see a rollover in here due to people getting out of their calls, right? You might not see us even trade there because we know there's pain there, right? So we might not even trade above this zone. We might keep rolling it over. Follow my cursor, might keep rolling it over. We could blast off, but just as you start to think about this stuff, and you're like, okay, we got trap buyers. We need to get some more support. We need to get some more buyers. if we break through here, you probably have buyers that are like, if we just make it to right here, I promise I'll sell my calls. So think about that trader psychology. Think about buyer psychology and how it interplays with the market on intraday level. Right? So they want to see us if we can break above this or not. I think we can, but I think we can push up higher here. But just be conscious of that in the normal circumstances. Even if you're not in calls, if you're not trapped right now, think about people that are trapped above here, because you may be buying calls, not realize that there are trapped buyers back here. So I deleted that. It's easy for us to trade within here. It's easy for us to go up. Got a price target above 381. This is very bullish, though. That rate reclamation is very bullish. Reclaiming that area. We've got a zone here at 380.27. And that's right here. 380.27 right here. We got a little level right here. This is this previous high right here. So pay attention to this one. We'll put one in right here. 380.27, I think it's that right there. We'll make it dotted. Make it small. Right in there. Right in there. Well, that's right where the sellers start. Sellers begin right here. We'll write that in. We'll write that in there so you can see it. We'll call them trap buyers. We'll say they're stuck right there. This is what trap buyers want to sell. Doesn't mean we don't trade higher than there, but I'm just saying that's where it's at. That's where they're hiding right here. I used to have cool names for my dogs. And then I had kids. And then I had, when I was young, I had cool names for dogs, and they died. And then we had dogs for the kids. And they don't name, I don't know why my kids name dogs like humans. One dog's name is Henry, and the other name's dog is Jack. I don't know why. I don't know where they figured out those names. I thought they were, I was like, of course I could go on Reddit. And I compile like a list of like 200 of the coolest names for dogs and cats. And they named the dogs Jack and Henry. And they named my cat Kitty. It's crazy. We have one cat. We had two cats. And we had one cat that ended up dying an early death.
So according to CNBC, FTX closes in on a deal to buy BlockFi for $25 million.
And we had to take them to the hospital for their shots and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, what's the cat's names? And we're like, Kitty. Like, what's that cat's name? We're like, Kitty. It's just Kitty. Come here, kitties. Kitty. That's all it is, just kitties. Yeah, Sophie. Henry and Jack, yep. Gave you a human name? Yeah, it's Sophie. Lola. I love Lola. That's a great name.
This stream is sponsored by To The Tick. Get free daily pivot points, Fibonacci, and market profile levels by signing up at tothetick.com.
I didn't hear the BlockFi stuff. Yep, 25 million. FTX is going to buy BlockFi. 25 million. And they're
We're
pre-IPO,
just seeing the
I think.
CFTC is ordering Interactive Brokers to pay $1 million.
No, it's million. I think is it million or billion? I thought it was million. Did I say billion? Yeah, George and John. I mean, seriously. George and John, it's like So I think it's 25 million. I think it's billion. Yeah, it's a fire sale. 25 million in a fire sale. Fuck. Can you believe how cheap that is? Insane, dude. They had a $1 billion loan. BlockFi. I bet I could put that money together with some friends. In cash. Hard cash. I bet I got enough friends who could put that together in a minute. That's fucking insane. Can you believe that shit? $25 million. That's nothing. Dude, that's nothing. Spy die, damn it. You guys want to see the I don't normally, well, not always, but the chart's so small that I don't bother putting the moving averages up. It's kind of funny too, right? Not putting the moving averages up. I think it's kind of funny. I like the 7-day. I like the 20, I like the 250 and the 200. 50, 200. And these lines suck, though. I'm not going to do this right now. I had wiped this computer, so I'm not going to put moving averages on right now. Nice trade higher to the top of the channel. See if there's any resistance here. I'm not seeing any. Let's see if we can continue to trade higher to this 381. Sellers now above 381. Trap buyers here. 381 is the price target right here. Watch my cursor. See if we can get up there or if we're going to roll it over right now. Is that what it is? 4.5 billion to 25 million? You know, I got to tell you guys, I'm a fucking bull, but I got to tell you guys, I'm warning you. That housing crisis, when that shit went down, I mean, they made movies about it and shit like that. I'm fucking telling you, somebody out there is getting some bank out there, right? Some not a hedge fund, an investment bank out there is ultra fucked in the crypto space. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I guarantee it. I'm not talking about like I posted this. I was trying to dig through my tweets. I couldn't find it, but like a couple of years ago, I posted about you could take loans for crypto. Like you take a fucking loan and buy crypto. Like, you know, those people are getting all fucked up, getting all wrecked and trashed. But you know also that whoever's backing that shit behind the scenes, whenever that shit comes out finally, that'll probably be the nail in the coffin. If I had to take one stab at it, I don't think it's housing this time either. There's some real risk in the commercial housing market, not the residential housing market. But the real craziness, it's gonna be something that you didn't know. So there was this article that was put out about a year or two ago. And the story really isn't like the loans, the crypto loans per se. That really wasn't the story. And even now, no one's harping on it, which they should. I see some of these articles still about that whole story, but not about the part of the story that's most important. I don't see that talked about right now. And that is that part of that space, the space, right? The like that. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but that space, not so much like the crypto space, not so much even the loan space on its own, on the user end. Oh yeah, look at that squeeze, baby, squeeze it, squoze it. Look at that squeeze. Pushing higher now. 381 is the price target. Trap buyers here. 381 is the price where my cursor is. 383 calls. Ooh, yeah, I want that so bad. I want that so bad. So in that space that I'm talking about, I forget what it's called right now. I've tried to find it the other day. This article came out a long time ago, or a year or two ago. I'm not saying I thought. I know I posted it, but when I searched for it using keywords, I couldn't find it in my timeline. It was when like crypto was like peaking. Still squeezing higher now, 379.75. Trap buyers at 380.20. It's not showing up here in Bookmap, but we know they're there. And then above that, the price target would be 381.07. If we can rest here or just continue higher, this is very bullish for the SPY. Came back from break on a perfect tag down below. Now trading higher. This is the second trade today that I've missed. So I did not take this trade. I should have, and I didn't. This one over here I missed because I was fucking flapping my gums about how to make consistent money in the stock market. But we'll watch this one here. This one should go to at least 380.22, and I think it's 380.23, and then 381.07 is the price target above. There's nobody here. There's no sellers here, so be aware of that. If you follow my cursor on the right-hand side, I want you to watch my cursor over here as it comes over, and we slide back over here. That's 380.59, another point of interest, because there's no more sellers, no more buyers here either, together as a whole. You see the sellers have been pushed above the 383. We know about that number up here. I might enter into this trade if I can. Give me just a minute here. I might take a trade here. But in that crypto space that I'm talking about, it's unregulated. The key, I don't know what the name of it is, but think about it like this: if you're originating loans from traditional mortgage, right? There are regulations. It's a regulated industry. There's oversight in that industry. So we're not talking even about just the user end, but we're talking about the rules on the back end. How the stuff gets funded, how the money is made, who's responsible, practices, ethics, all kinds of stuff. And that's usually where, and from that article that I read, that's usually where the real fuckery comes around. Like, you think that there might be fuckery in a meme crypto that goes defunct. There's a bunch you can look at. That representative of that happening. Luna is a prime example, but the key in this story is it's not actually Luna where the real fuckery happens. The real fuckery happens on the loan side, on the back end of it. You don't know who's actually known in the background, in an investment bank side of the finance industry that's funding this stuff and running the Wild West operations. When it like you can see, think it is in terms of risk. The real risk is this is similar to the housing market. There are packaging mortgages, right? Shitty mortgages on top of shitty mortgages on top of shitty mortgages.